Chapter 367. Walking out of the cell, Zhao Yuner followed the jailer. She didn't know where the jailer was taking her. Would she be subjected to those ancient punishments and then beaten to the point of hovering between life and death? Through this method, she would be tortured into confessing that she had something to do with the poisoning of the bullfrog in the restaurant. Zhao Yuner had watched many TV dramas, so she was familiar with some ancient punishments. Once she pictured the scene in her mind, her legs couldn't help trembling. In addition, she had stood for a long time in the past 2 days, so her legs were already numb and weak. It was very difficult for her to walk. "Sir, can you tell me what I'm going to do?" asked Zhao Yuner in a trembling voice. "What are you afraid of?" The jailer heard the trembling in Zhao Yuner's voice, so he replied with a smile. Zhao Yuner curled her lips. "Sir, how can I not be afraid? What if you brand me with a red-hot iron later, whip me, and pinch my fingers with a wooden stick?" Zhao Yuner told the jailer all the punishments she could think of. The more she said, the more scared she became. How could the ancient punishments be used? They would definitely make people suffer more than they would if they were alive. Once Zhao Yuner thought of it, she couldn't help trembling in fear. She was a normal person after all, and she also had things that she was afraid of. Seeing Zhao Yuner talking a lot, the jailer couldn't help laughing. "Miss, I think you're thinking too much." "Ha! What do you mean by that? Aren't these the torture methods in your prison?" The jailer twitched the corner of his mouth. "The punishments in our prison are much scarier than what you've just said." "What?" Hearing that, Zhao Yuner was even more scared. Seeing Zhao Yuner's pale face, the jailer hurriedly explained, "Who told you that you're going to be punished? Isn't it?" "No, miss, you're lucky. They're going to let you go." Zhao Yuner was puzzled. "Little brother, why did you let me go? Could it be that my innocence has been proven?" The jailer had been working in prison for so many years, but he had never seen a woman like Zhao Yuner. He didn't feel annoyed at all. Instead, he felt that Zhao Yuner was very interesting. The jailer shook his head. "No, miss, it's Lord Xueqi who wants to let you go, so you don't have to stay in prison tonight." Hearing Mu Lianfeng's name, Mu Lianfeng was surprised. She didn't expect Mu Lianfeng to come to save her so soon. "But am I going out just like that?" The jailer felt that Zhao Yuner had a lot of questions, but he still patiently explained, "What is the identity of the heir? How could we, the government, not give them face when they asked for it? But your case still has to be tried. Lord Xueqi promises that he will send you here on the day of the trial." Zhao Yuner nodded. "So that's how it is." The purpose of detention was to prevent criminals from escaping in advance. Since they could guarantee that they would be present during the trial, it didn't matter whether they were in the prison or in the Xueqi's residence. The jailer couldn't help but look Zhao Yuner up and down. "Miss, you look quite ordinary. I didn't expect you to be related to Lord Xueqi. You're really something." Zhao Yuner smiled awkwardly. "I just happened to help Lord Xueqi with a small favor." Chapter 368. "Oh, okay." Zhao Yuner nodded. Just as she was about to quicken her pace, her legs started to hurt even more. She had been standing there for too long and had to start walking before she could rest. Ouch! Zhao Yuner walked and walked. Suddenly she fell down and fell to the ground. The jailer hurriedly asked, "Miss, are you all right?" Zhao Yuner shook her head and hammered her legs. "I'm fine. It's just that my legs don't listen to me and I can't walk properly." "But we can't let the crown prince wait for too long. Miss, come, let me help you," the jailer said as he came over to help Zhao Yuner. "Thank you, brother." "You're welcome," the jailer replied. In fact, he was usually not so patient with prisoners. Today, he had a good impression of Zhao Yuner. Moreover, Zhao Yuner was the crown prince's woman, so he was a little more polite. The jailer walked Zhao Yuner to the door of the prison. Mu Lianfeng was standing outside the door. After Mu Lianfeng returned to the crown prince's residence, he changed into a new set of clothes. The purple brocade robe enhanced his temperament. That handsome appearance could not help but attract Zhao Yuner's attention. This man was really a demon. When he was in her house, his clothes were a little tattered and she did not feel much. Now that he had changed into a new set of clothes, his original handsomeness and temperament appeared again. Sure enough, it was better for Mu Lianfeng to stay in Yang City. What had she done to him in her house? A peerless handsome man was holed up in her shabby thatched hut. No matter how handsome he was, he would be overshadowed. When Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yuner, he was a little excited. But when he saw the jailer holding Zhao Yuner's arm, his eyes immediately darkened. Mu Lianfeng took a step forward and pushed the jailer away from Zhao Yuner. The prison guard still had not figured out what had happened. He lay on the ground with a confused look on his face. Zhao Yuner was also stunned. Why did Mu Lianfeng bully people? Before Zhao Yuner and the jailer could figure out what had happened, Mu Lianfeng's stern voice sounded. What did you do to Yuner? Is this an abuse of power? Tell me. The jailer was so frightened by Mu Lianfeng's cold voice that he trembled. He knelt on the ground and said to Mu Lianfeng, Your Highness, you've wronged me. I really didn't do that. We didn't abuse the law. Zhao Yuner looked at Mu Lianfeng's angry face. It turned out that he cared about her and was afraid that she would be wronged. She felt a little happy in her heart. Young Master Mu, they really didn't torture me. You misunderstood. Zhao Yuner helped the prison guard to explain. Then you. Mu Lianfeng looked at Zhao Yuner and frowned. I've been standing in the prison for a long time, so my legs hurt so much that I can't walk properly. It's all thanks to this little brother's help that I can walk out. Seeing that Zhao Yuner was helping him to explain, the prison guard also cast a grateful look at Zhao Yuner. Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment. Then, he suddenly took a step forward and directly carried Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner's feet left the ground in an instant. In a panic, she hugged Mu Lianfeng and pressed her face against Mu Lianfeng's chest. Young Master Mu. Zhao Yuner looked at Mu Lianfeng in surprise. She didn't know what Mu Lianfeng meant. Since your legs can't move, I'll carry you. Mu Lianfeng explained. There was a hint of nervousness in his tone. Chapter 369. Zhao Yuner was a little worried about the wound on Mu Lianfeng's arm. It was still in the process of forming a scab. If he used too much strength, it would probably tear again. Wouldn't that hurt to death? It wasn't like she couldn't walk with her legs. Mu Lianfeng could support her. Being held in his arms, Zhao Yuner felt a little strange. There was also an ambiguous atmosphere between her and Mu Lianfeng. My wound is fine now. You don't have to worry. Mu Lianfeng's pleasant voice whispered into Zhao Yuner's ear. His warm breath instantly blew into Zhao Yuner's ear. Zhao Yuner's face also turned red. Young Master Mu, you should put me down. I can walk on my own. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but struggle a few times. She patted Mu Lianfeng's shoulder. If Mu Lianfeng continued to hold her, wouldn't she be embarrassed to death? Just as Zhao Yuner was struggling, Mu Lianfeng grabbed Zhao Yuner's hand and whispered into Zhao Yuner's ear, Don't move. Mu Lianfeng's tone was commanding. Zhao Yuner saw that he was still holding her tightly. She was afraid that she would continue to move. Mu Lianfeng was fine at first, but in the end, because of her, she pulled on his wound instead. Mu Lianfeng's body had a faint fresh scent. It smelled very good. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but swallow her saliva. The feeling of being hugged by Mu Lianfeng was very strange. This man's embrace was really big. His solid chest seemed to be able to give her something to lean on. If Mu Lianfeng hadn't come today, she might have to stay in prison for 2 days. How hopeless would that be? Every time she was in trouble, he was by her side and helped her in time. She had lived for more than 20 years in her previous life, but she had never met someone who treated her like this. Young Master Mu, why are you so good to me? Zhao Yuner couldn't help but ask. Mu Lianfeng's body trembled slightly. Because Miss Yuner also saved me. It's only right that I do this for you. Zhao Yuner smiled bitterly. Is that the only reason? She even thought that it was an unrequited love. Of course not. Mu Lianfeng replied. Zhao Yuner's heart, which had sunk down, suddenly recovered a lot. Zhao Yuner waited expectantly for Mu Lianfeng's answer. She wanted to hear what Mu Lianfeng had to say. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up slightly. Zhao Yuner looked up and happened to see his good-looking side profile. He was so handsome that it was a mess. Miss Yuner, you are very special. You have an inexplicable attraction to me, so I can't help but want to protect you. Mu Lianfeng answered honestly. Zhao Yuner's heart trembled. Was Mu Lianfeng confessing? If it wasn't for the huge gap between the two of them, Zhao Yuner really wanted to be together with Mu Lianfeng. The atmosphere between the two of them became even more ambiguous. Mu Lianfeng tactfully kept his mouth shut when Zhao Yuner didn't say anything. If Zhao Yuner didn't have any feelings for him, the more he said, the harder it would be to get along with her in the future. After a while, Mu Lianfeng carried her into the carriage. The carriage belonged to the heir apparent's residence. They had specially come to pick up Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but ask, "Young Master Mu, am I really going to stay at the heir apparent's residence tonight?" Mu Lianfeng nodded. Yes, where else would Miss Yuner go? Chapter 370. It's okay, it's no trouble. Mu Lianfeng smiled faintly. Then, okay. It was good that it was not troublesome. If it was troublesome, Mu Lianfeng could just get her a room in the inn. Young Master Mu, thank you for coming back to help me get out of prison. Did you go back to Yang City alone? Did you hand Daodu over to my parents? She was most worried about Daodu. Such a young child could not do without her taking care of him. Daodu was probably worried and afraid now, right? Speaking of Zhao Yuner's parents, Mu Lianfeng's expression was a little ugly. He did not want to mention those people from old Zhao's family. If he handed Daodu over to Zhao Yuner's parents, who knew what would happen? However, Mu Lianfeng did not want to tell Zhao Yuner about what old Zhao's family had done after Zhao Yuner left. He was afraid that Zhao Yuner would be angered to death if she heard about it. He would naturally deal with what old Zhao's family had done later. I've brought Daodu back. He's now resting in the Shizi's residence. He said that he would wait for you to go back for dinner. Zhao Yuner nodded. Young Master Mu, thank you. I've troubled you with Daodu's matter. Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, You're welcome. I've also troubled Yuner a lot during this period of time. These are all things that I should do. As soon as Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, the carriage jolted, and the two people in the carriage swayed. Zhao Yuner suddenly fell towards Mu Lianfeng. Their faces were very close, and Zhao Yuner's lips brushed across Mu Lianfeng's cheek. Their eyes met, and Zhao Yuner's heart could not help but skip a beat. She quickly avoided Mu Lianfeng's body. However, Mu Lianfeng did not give her the chance. Mu Lianfeng grabbed Zhao Yuner's hand and kissed her on the lips. Mu Lianfeng's lips lingered on Zhao Yuner's lips for a while, savoring the aftertaste. Zhao Yuner was a little overwhelmed by this sudden incident. The sensation on her lips was exceptionally clear. She was stunned and her mind went blank for a moment. Heavens! Who could tell her what was going on? Was she kissed by Mu Lianfeng? After a few seconds, Zhao Yuner confirmed that it was true. Mu Lianfeng really kissed her. Zhao Yuner wanted to struggle, but Mu Lianfeng immediately reached out another hand and restrained the back of her head. Otherwise, Zhao Yuner would have had a chance to struggle. After Mu Lianfeng kissed for about 2 to 3 minutes, he slowly let go of Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner's entire face was as red as a monkey's butt. After being suddenly released, she could not help but gasp for breath and take in large mouthfuls of fresh air. Crazy, crazy. Did Mu Lianfeng know what he was doing? Why was he so impulsive? Mu Lianfeng licked the corners of his mouth as if he was savoring the aftertaste. He was also hot-headed just now and could not help but kiss Zhao Yuner. After he reacted, he realized what he had done. Young Master Mu, you. Zhao Yuner did not know what to say for a moment. Should she blame Mu Lianfeng? Miss Yuner, I was impulsive. I will take responsibility for you. Before Zhao Yuner could question him, Mu Lianfeng spoke. This was the first time he kissed a woman and could not control his inner impulse to kiss her. Since it had already happened, as a man, he naturally had to bear the consequences. Ah! Zhao Yuner was slightly stunned. Chapter 371. Miss Yuner, since I've kissed you, I'll take responsibility for you. Men and women shouldn't touch each other, so we're not husband and wife. We shouldn't be so intimate. Yuner, shall I marry you? This was the second time Mu Lianfeng had said this. The last time he was half joking. Zhao Yuner didn't know if Mu Lianfeng was serious or what he meant. Now that Mu Lianfeng said it in an extremely serious manner, Zhao Yuner knew that Mu Lianfeng wasn't joking. He was a mature adult. Naturally, he knew the consequences of saying this and what it meant. Zhao Yuner's lips twitched. She was shocked by Mu Lianfeng's words. Young Master Mu, aren't you being too responsible? Our matter isn't at the stage of marriage yet. Wasn't it just a kiss? As a person from the 21st century, she could still see things quite clearly. In the 21st century, it was very normal for couples to kiss. If they got married with a kiss, who knew how many couples would get together because of this? Miss Yun, do you not want to marry me? Mu Lianfeng looked sad. Zhao Yun'er's lips twitched. How could she mean that? He was really overthinking. No. Young Master Mu, I just don't think it's necessary. Zhao Yun'er coughed lightly, feeling a little awkward. Her face was burning. She hadn't digested Mu Lianfeng's kiss yet. Sure enough, a man and a woman alone couldn't be in the same room. Perhaps something could happen between the two of them even if they didn't have anything to do with each other. Zhao Yun'er lowered her head shyly. In Mu Lianfeng's eyes, it was very pleasant. Mu Lianfeng's throat moved. He had never been so moved by a woman before. Thus he held Zhao Yun'er's hand and said, Yun, if I say that I like you, will you marry me? Zhao Yun'er was stunned. Was this a proposal? Perhaps Mu Lianfeng had deliberately kissed her just now to find an excuse to marry her. Meeting Mu Lianfeng's burning gaze, Zhao Yun'er felt a little breathless and wanted to escape. Yun'er, marry me. I'll take good care of you and Daodu. Mu Lianfeng's voice rang in Zhao Yun'er's ears again. This sentence was like a promise. There was such a man behind her that she could rely on. No matter how strong Zhao Yun'er was, she was still a woman. Mu Lianfeng's words touched her. If she rejected him, Mu Lianfeng would probably be disappointed. Moreover, she didn't want to refuse. Young Master Mu, if I marry you, won't your parents object? Zhao Yun'er asked. She was worried that the distance between them was too great. Those people in the heir presumptive's residence wouldn't easily agree to her marriage with Mu Lianfeng. She didn't want to be with Mu Lianfeng. It was just a casual remark. It couldn't even be put on the table. Leave this matter to me. I'll take care of it. Mu Lianfeng gave her a promise. Zhao Yun'er bit her lower lip and continued. Young Master Mu, I have my own requirements for choosing a husband. My husband can only marry me and only me alone for the rest of his life. If you can't do it, don't mention this matter again. In ancient times, it was normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. For someone of Mu Lianfeng's status, it was even more impossible for him to only have 1 woman. However, she was a woman in the 21st century. She couldn't share her husband with another woman. No matter how much she liked Mu Lianfeng, if he had 3 wives and 4 concubines, she would stay far away. Chapter 372. Other than Zhao Yun'er, he felt that there shouldn't be any other woman who could make him feel special and walk into his heart. Mu Lianfeng really answered straightforwardly. Then about our marriage. We'll talk about it after you've settled it. Zhao Yun'er didn't know how to face Mu Lianfeng for a moment. Were the two of them officially in a relationship? Trust me, Yun'er. Mu Lianfeng's hand touched Zhao Yun'er's face. Looking at Zhao Yun'er's somewhat haggard appearance, he felt a little heartache. In the future, call me Feng, or Brother Feng. After we get married, call me husband. Mu Lianfeng reminded her. This sentence made Zhao Yun'er even more embarrassed. Feng. Brother Feng. She couldn't really say it. It was more comfortable to call him Young Master Mu, but calling him Young Master Mu seemed too distant. Zhao Yun'er responded softly. The carriage finally arrived at the Crown Prince's residence and stopped in front of the Crown Prince's residence. It was also Zhao Yun'er's first time seeing it. The entire courtyard was very big. It was probably the largest residence in the entire Yang city, just like the gardens Zhao Yun'er saw in the 21st century. The heir manor's main door was vermilion red and extremely tall. There was a pair of lions at the door, looking mighty and domineering. From the aura of the main door, one could tell that this wasn't an ordinary residence. Yun'er, let me help you down, Mu Lianfeng said and considerately helped Zhao Yun'er down from the carriage. Your house is so big, Zhao Yun'er sighed. Quickly go in. Okay. The two of them had just entered the door and walked to the hall when they saw Helian Chen walking forward. Ah Feng, I heard that you were back, so I hurried over to look for you. Look at how many days you've been missing. I was so worried. I thought something had happened to you, So I searched everywhere but couldn't find you. And there's no news of you at all. Helian Chen's brows were tightly furrowed as he spoke. It was obvious that he was really worried about Mu Lianfeng's situation. Actually, it wasn't just Helian Chen. During this period of time, everyone in the Air Manor had been searching everywhere for information. After such a long time, they still hadn't found Mu Lianfeng and had already reported it to the capital. They originally thought that the emperor would order a nationwide search, but Mu Lianfeng suddenly returned to the Air Manor. Wouldn't it be better if he came back now? Mu Lianfeng replied calmly, without much emotion in his voice. Ah. Helian Chen was a little angry when he saw Mu Lianfeng's calm expression. He was so worried about him. How could he act as if nothing had happened? Feng, where have you been all this time? Since he was fine, why didn't he send a message back? You caused all of us to be worried about you. It was really crazy. Helian Chen couldn't help but complain. Looking at Helian Chen's angry appearance, Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, "How come I didn't know that you were so concerned about me in the past?" Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed when she heard this from the side. Why did she feel that there was a strong sense of camaraderie between these two people? The corner of Helian Chen's mouth twitched and he glared at Mu Lianfeng. Of course I'm concerned about you, you heartless fellow. Haha, Mu Lianfeng laughed and said, the situation was special at that time. I was also seriously injured and was recuperating. I didn't dare to leak my information out, otherwise, something unexpected might happen again. Chapter 373. Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh at Helian Chen's bashfulness. Why did she feel that Helian Chen was like a girl when she looked at him? It felt like a little wife blaming her husband. If Mu Lianfeng married her, would Helian Chen really not be angry? Would he be jealous of her? She did not want to fight with a man for another man. She hoped that she would not think too much. Mu Lianfeng snorted and sucked in a breath of cold air. Helian Chen and Zhao Yun hurriedly asked, Ah Feng, what's wrong? Are you okay? Mu Lianfeng, are you okay? Mu Lianfeng frowned and looked like he was in pain. My chest hurts. Zhao Yun knew that Mu Lianfeng's chest was still injured. Helian Chen's punch should not have been light. He must have hit Mu Lianfeng's old wound. Are there any herbs here? Let me bandage it for you quickly. The old wound on your chest should have torn. You have to be careful next time, Zhao Yun said. Helian Chen was also a little panicked. If he knew that his punch had injured Mu Lianfeng, he would not have hit him. Yes. Bandage it quickly. Helian Chen looked at Zhao Yun after he finished speaking. He had been paying attention to Mu Lianfeng and did not notice that Zhao Yun had also returned with Mu Lianfeng. Helian Chen was stunned. He pointed at Zhao Yun and said, Why is Miss Yun here too? Zhao Yun nodded at Mu Lianfeng. This time, I was being hunted down. It was all thanks to Yun who saved me. I have also been recuperating at Yun house during this period. But I met Miss Yun earlier. Why didn't she say anything? You were at her place. I was the one who told Yun not to say anything. The more people who know, the more risk there is. Helian Chen rolled his eyes at Mu Lianfeng. He increasingly felt that Mu Lianfeng was too heartless. You don't even believe me. That's too hurtful. Helian Chen's angry expression was a little cute. Mu Lianfeng smiled. It's my fault, okay? It's your fault to begin with. Zhao Yun listened to the two people bickering at the side. The gay feeling was getting stronger and stronger. She couldn't listen to it anymore. She could not help but laugh and say, Let's go apply the medicine first. We'll talk about the other things later. No matter how dissatisfied Helian Chen was, it was still more important to treat Mu Lianfeng's injuries. There were specialized physicians in the Air Manor. They quickly bandaged the wound on Mu Lianfeng's chest. Miss Yun, thank you so much. Thank you for saving Feng and taking care of him for such a long time, Helian Chen said gratefully to Zhao Yun, as if Zhao Yun had saved his wife. It's all right, young Master Helian is too polite. It's not a small matter that you saved Feng. Later, the entire Air Manor will definitely run over to thank you, especially Madame Mu. Especially old Madame Mu. Helian Chen had just finished speaking when the sound of footsteps came from outside the door. Feng, are you all right? It was the voice of an old woman. Her tone was filled with deep concern. Then, They saw an old woman in her 60s or 70s walk in. Zhao Yun sized up the old woman who walked over. She was dressed in luxurious clothes and wore precious jewelry. One look and she knew that she was a rich madam. Although the old woman was a little old, she still had a temperament. She should have been a great beauty when she was young. This old woman should be the Madame Mu that Helian Chen mentioned. Chapter 374. Grandma. Mu Lianfeng greeted old Madame Mu affectionately when he saw her. Old Madame Mu was probably the most anxious person when he was not around these past few days. Mu Lianfeng noticed that old Madame Mu seemed to have become more haggard. There were a few strands of white hair on her temples. Feng you're finally back. If you didn't come back, I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to live on. Old Madame Mu took out a handkerchief and wiped the corners of her eyes. Xueqi Manor had only one heir. If anything happened to Mu Lianfeng, Xueqi Manor would have no descendants. Grandma, I'm back, right? Don't worry. Mu Lianfeng comforted her. Old Madame Mu nodded while sobbing. Yes, it's good that you're back. It's good that my Feng is back. Old Madam, you have to thank Miss Yuner for Feng's safe return. Helian Chen pointed at Zhao Yuner and quickly helped Zhao Yuner to claim the credit. Old Madame Mu's attention then fell on Zhao Yuner. She sized up Zhao Yuner and saw Zhao Yuner's clothes. She guessed that Zhao Yuner was a little girl from the countryside. But regardless of Zhao Yuner's identity, she should be grateful since Zhao Yuner saved Mu Lianfeng. So she said to Zhao Yuner, "Thank you, miss. I'll ask the servants to give you 500 taels of silver as thanks. Tomorrow, I'll ask the servants to send you back. If you have any other requests, such as food, drinks, clothes and necessities, just let me know. I'll ask the servants to buy them all." Old Madame Mu's way of thanking people was to use money. But she felt that Zhao Yuner's clothes were shabby and her family should be poor. She should lack these things the most. Zhao Yuner felt uncomfortable when she heard that. What did old Madame Mu mean? She saved Mu Lianfeng because Mu Lianfeng had helped her before, not because of money. A stiff smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. "Thank you, old madam, but you don't have to give these things to Yuner. Although Yuner saved young Master Mu also helped me a lot before." Old Madame Mu was stunned. She frowned and said, "Miss, are you not satisfied with my arrangement? If you have any requests, feel free to let me know. My residence will definitely satisfy you." Zhao Yuner quickly waved her hand. "Old madam, you misunderstood me. I don't need any reward." Old Madame Mu couldn't help but take a few more glances at Zhao Yuner. She still did not understand this woman. Why didn't he want the money? Then what did she want? What was she planning? Old Madame Mu didn't believe that Zhao Yuner didn't want to gain any benefits. She had seen many scheming women. In her opinion, Zhao Yuner must want to gain more benefits. "Miss, although you saved my grandson, you can't go too far. We can give you the money, but don't even think about having any ideas about my grandson. Don't think about being his concubine. Even if we have a maid in the same room, it's not something a country girl can do." Old Madame Mu said to Zhao Yuner. She told her the guess in her heart. She looked at Zhao Yuner with disgust. Zhao Yuner was really angered by old Madame Mu's words this time. What was this old woman talking about? Chapter 375. Old Madam, you're thinking too much. "I didn't mean that," Zhao Yuner said. "You didn't mean that? Then why don't you want the money from the Xueqi mansion? Don't tell me you really don't want anything after saving my grandson?" Old Madame Mu asked in disbelief. Zhao Yuner twitched the corner of her mouth. She felt that it was a little ironic. She had not married Mu Lianfeng yet, but old Madame Mu looked down on her and treated her like this. If Mu Lianfeng really married her, old Madame Mu Lianfeng would make a scene. She knew that in this era, there was a big gap between the two people's status, but she did not expect it to be like this. Could Mu Lianfeng really solve it? She could already foresee that Mu Lianfeng would face a lot of difficult problems if he married her. Mu Lianfeng glanced at Zhao Yuner and hurriedly said, "Grandma, how can you say that about Yuner? She doesn't want anything from me. Isn't it humiliating to give her money directly?" When old Madame Mu heard Mu Lianfeng's angry tone, she quickly said, "Feng just by looking at this girl, you can tell that she doesn't come from a good family. Giving her money is for her to improve her life and help her. How did it become humiliating? Grandma, although Yun'er's family background is not good, she is also proud. She will definitely not accept money from others. Money is a good thing, but it is not worth mentioning to some people. It's not right for you to take money directly like this. Look, Yun'er didn't accept it, right? Since she didn't accept it, why did you say those aggressive words and make her sad? Who would thank someone in this way? Mu Lianfeng stood on Zhao Yun'er's side and scolded old Madame Mu. Zhao Yun'er wanted to say that it was not that she did not care about money. She was working hard to do business now just to earn more money and live a good life with Daodu. She refused not because of her pride, but because she did not think that Mu Lianfeng owed her a favor. On the contrary, Mu Lianfeng helped her a little more. This time, if it were not for Mu Lianfeng, she was afraid that she would still be in the dark and dirty prison in fear. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, old Madame Mu realized that her words were harsh. But that was what she thought. Her grandson was angry. She could not continue to lose her temper in front of Zhao Yun'er. Anyway, as long as she was here, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't have any bad thoughts about her grandson. Okay. It's Grandma's fault. Grandma shouldn't have said that. But she saved you. Tell me, how should I repay her? You can't really do nothing, right? Old Madame Mu asked. She wanted to repay Zhao Yun'er for saving Mu Lianfeng once and for all. In this way, Zhao Yun'er would not have the chance to pester Mu Lianfeng. Without waiting for Mu Lianfeng's reply, Zhao Yun'er said, "Old Madam, there's really no need. It's all thanks to young Master Mu's help that I got into trouble this time. We're even now, so there's no need to repay him." Old Madame Mu looked at Mu Lianfeng in confusion. Mu Lianfeng then told her about Zhao Yun'er's situation. After hearing it, old Madame Mu was relieved. She was wondering why Zhao Yun'er did not want her money. So this was the reason. If Xueqi Mansion helped her this time, it could be considered that they had repaid Zhao Yun'er's kindness. Chapter 376. Mu Lianfeng nodded faintly and responded. Zhao Yun'er could not help but feel bitter when she saw the 180-degree change in old Madame Mu's attitude. It was not that she did not understand old Madame Mu's thoughts. But now that she had confirmed that she did not want to rely on Mu Lianfeng, she was happy. Miss Yun'er, then you should stay in the Xueqi Mansion for the next 2 days. I will ask the servants to take good care of you. I guarantee that you will eat and drink well. Old Madame Mu said with a smile. Zhao Yun'er did not want to argue with old Madame Mu about her sudden change in attitude. She was even more lazy to argue with old Madame Mu. So she nodded and said, "Thank you, old madam." "You're welcome. This is what I should do. Miss Yun'er saved our Feng. The entire Xueqi Mansion is grateful. If you need any help, you can ask." "Thank you, old madam." As soon as Zhao Yun'er finished speaking, she heard Daodu's voice outside the room. "Mother." When Mu Lianfeng went to the prison, he asked the servants to take care of Daodu. At first, when Mu Lianfeng came back with Daodu called Mu Lianfeng father. The servants thought that Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's illegitimate son. But they thought that it was impossible. If Mu Lianfeng had a son, then he would be the Xueqi Mansion's little Xueqi. Old Madam would be overjoyed if she knew. She would not let the Xueqi Mansion's child wander outside. Maybe there was another reason. Old Madame Mu also liked children. When she heard Daodu's voice, her eyes lit up. Hearing Daodu's soft voice, she knew that he was a cute little guy. "Mother!" Daodu saw Zhao Yun'er when he entered the room and rushed to Zhao Yun'er. She burrowed into Zhao Yun'er's arms. After all, he was only a 3-year-old child. He simply couldn't leave his mother. Daodu was also worried that Zhao Yun'er had been away for such a long time. After returning to Zhao Yun'er's embrace, Daodu hugged Zhao Yun'er tightly. He was afraid that if he let go, Zhao Yun'er would leave again. Zhao Yun'er caressed Daodu's smooth little face and said softly, "Mother is here." "Mother, Daodu misses you so much. Mother just left not long ago. Why do you want to die already?" Zhao Yun'er's lips curved into a faint smile. At this moment, Zhao Yun'er saw Daodu. Her anger from old Madame Mu immediately dissipated. Old Madame Mu couldn't help but look at Daodu, who was in Zhao Yun'er's arms. Looking at Daodu's height, she knew that he was a few years old. She really didn't expect Zhao Yuner to be the child's mother. Now, she didn't have to worry about Zhao Yuner having other motives. It was impossible for a married woman with a child to have anything to do with her grandson. Miss Yuner's child is already so big, right? Old Madame Mu asked with a smile. She seemed to be in a good mood. Zhao Yuner responded. Then she held Daodu's little hand and walked to old Madame Mu. She said to Daodu, "Daodu, great-great-grandmother." Children had to be polite. It was one thing for her to have a problem with old Madame Mu, but she still had to be polite on the surface. Daodu was also very obedient. When he heard Zhao Yuner's words, he went to old Madame Mu and said sweetly, "Hello, great-grandmother." Chapter 377. The two of them chuckled. Business was pretty good. In just one morning, Mulan had sold nearly 200 copper coins. To Mulan, this was already a large sum of money. Although she couldn't do this every day, she could still make do with a few hundred copper coins a month. She could barely get by. Mulan sighed with emotion. "I'm thinking about when I can save more money and build a few houses. At that time, I'll have a separate house. It'll be more comfortable for my family to live together." At present, he continued to live with old Madame Zhu. When he heard old Madame Zhu's voice, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. If he had his own house and lived a little further away, he really wouldn't have anything to do with the Zhu family. Zhao Yun could understand Mulan's feelings. It's always good to have a dream. Life will get better slowly. Mulan sighed. That's true. Building a house costs a lot of money. Now that we're selling these things, it's already good enough that we can live on, let alone building a house. In the end, it was because of money. Zhao Yun looked at Mulan's injured fingers. She couldn't continue weaving baskets for a long time. It was tiring and hurt her hands. The most important thing was that she didn't make a lot of money. If she wanted to live a better life, she had to think of another way out. What kind of business could she do in this town? Zhao Yun suddenly thought of the snack stall. If she did it alone, she would be busy and strenuous. But if she did it with two people, it wouldn't be so tiring. She could also make more money. Zhao Yun had a feeling that she couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan for long. She didn't know what Sun Zhongquan and Qin Hailan were doing. If she really couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan, she could make a plan in advance. During the day, Mulan's baskets were almost sold out. After packing up the remaining things, the two of them went to the market to buy some vegetables. Mulan directly weighed a caddy of pork and brought it back. The children at home hadn't eaten anything good. She had some money on hand, so she had to buy some to nourish the children and satisfy their cravings. On the way back, Zhao Yun told Mulan about the snack stall plan. Mulan was very interested. "Yun, if possible, I want to do it with you. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm happy as long as we can make money." Zhao Yun nodded. As long as she could make money, she didn't mind even if it was a little hard. "But Yun, I don't have the capital." Zhao Yun patted Mulan's shoulder. Yun, I feel that you're the one who loses out. How about this? When we share the money, you can get more and give me less. Or I can work for you every month, and you can give me a little salary. Mulan, don't you know our relationship? Don't be so polite with me. We can talk about how to share the money later. Let's go to Yang City to check the situation and see when we can buy the stall. Sure. After lunch, Zhao Yun wanted to go up the mountain, but there were a lot of officers and soldiers. These soldiers gathered in front of Zhao Yun's house, which attracted many villagers. They were all chattering about what had happened. Chapter 378. Fortunately, he was quick-witted and found an excuse. Otherwise, Matriarch Mu would definitely nag at him about his marriage again. It would be fine if he married Zhao Yun, but the problem was that Matriarch Mu liked Murong Shuang, the cousin he had no feelings for. "Father, does your head really hurt? Do you want Daodu to massage it for you?" Daodu asked considerately. Looking at Daodu's worried little eyes, Mu Lianfeng was touched. His son was filial. "No, father was just teasing your great-grandmother," Mu Lianfeng said with a smile. "Ah, father. That's not good, right? My mother said that I can't tease people, especially the younger generation. I can't tease the elders. Daodu frowned with a serious expression. He said seriously. Mu Lianfeng felt that he was being lectured by a child. He couldn't help but laugh. All right, it's father's fault. Father shouldn't tease great-grandmother. Then does father's head really not hurt? It doesn't hurt. That's good. Daodu smiled at Mu Lianfeng. Helian Chen looked at the interaction between Mu Lianfeng and Daodu. Why did he feel that the two of them were more and more like father and son? Mu Lianfeng called for the servants to bring some food over. He had dinner with Zhao Yun'er and Daodu. The next day, Zhao Yun'er and Daodu stayed in the Crown Prince's residence. Mu Lianfeng went out to help Zhao Yun'er investigate the case. Zhao Yun'er couldn't get involved with the case. She believed that Mu Lianfeng could help her settle it. With Mu Lianfeng busy, Zhao Yun'er was free and at ease. She stayed in the young prince's mansion because old Madame Mu felt that she was no longer a threat. She treated Zhao Yun'er kindly. Especially to Daodu, he doted on him as if he were his own great-grandson. Not only did he bring Daodu to play in front of him, but he also took out all the delicious pastries in the residence for Daodu to eat. Daodu usually stayed in the countryside and had never eaten such delicious food before. It was already rare for her to eat a piece of candy, let alone these expensive pastries. Great-grandma, it's delicious. Daodu smiled at Matriarch Mu. Looking at Daodu's puffy cheeks, Matriarch Mu smiled and said, "Eat more if you like it. Great-grandma has a lot here." Great-grandma, you're so good to Daodu. You're even better than Daodu's own great-grandmother. Daodu likes you. Daodu's soft voice, coupled with her charming smile, made old Madame Mu burst with joy. How could there be such a cute child? Looking at Daodu reminded her of her Feng when he was young. Didn't your own great-grandmother treat you well? Matriarch Mu asked with a smile. Daodu paused and shook his head. He looked pitiful. Great-grandma didn't treat Daodu well. She treated mother even worse. Why? Didn't your father protect your mother? Daodu didn't have a father when he was young. Great-grandma and the rest scolded mother. They said that mother was shameless to give birth to Daodu. Daodu was still young and couldn't express clearly about Zhao Yun'er's pregnancy before marriage. However, Matriarch Mu still pieced it together from Daodu's words. Zhao Yun'er gave birth to Daodu with another man before marriage. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Why was Zhao Yun'er such a woman? She really couldn't tell. Chapter 379. No, she had to keep a distance from Zhao Yun'er after her grandson finished his business. If they didn't have a chance to get along, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't be able to seduce him. Mother is so pitiful. When Daodu grows up, you must protect mother well. Daodu said seriously. Seeing that Daodu was so sensible and filial, old Madame Mu liked him even more. She thought that it would be great if Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's biological son. It was a pity that such a child had a mother like Zhao Yun'er. When it was time for lunch, Zhao Yun'er came to old Madame Mu to pick up Daodu for lunch. Zhao Yun'er found that old Madame Mu's attitude towards her seemed to be much colder. She didn't know what she had done to offend old Madame Mu. Zhao Yun'er was not very enthusiastic when old Madame Mu was indifferent to her. This was how people interacted with each other. At least they treated each other equally. Miss Yun'er, I like Daodu very much. Why don't you let Daodu live with me in the Xueqi's mansion in the future? Anyway, Daodu has recognized Feng as his godfather. You're a young girl and it's not easy for you to get married with a child. Let me take care of Daodu. You can also find yourself a husband. Don't you think so? Old Madame Mu's words almost made Zhao Yun'er vomit blood. What was this old woman talking about? Why would she give her own son to someone else? The corner of her mouth couldn't help but twitch. If it weren't for old Madame Mu's identity, she would have scolded her. Thank you, old madam, for your love for Daodu and your concern for me. But Yun'er only wants to live with Daodu in this life. I don't want to get married. Ah, you're a young girl. How can you not get married? You have to find a good family to marry. How about this? Many of the servants in my mansion have grandchildren who are about the same age as you. Do you want me to introduce them to you? With me in charge, it will definitely be better than finding someone else on your own. The more old Madame Mu spoke, the angrier Zhao Yuner got. What old Madame Mu meant was that her status was only good enough for the descendants of the servants in the Xueqi manor. She really looked down on her. Although old Madame Mu did not scold her, Zhao Yuner felt that it was more embarrassing than scolding her like Hu Chunhua. Thinking about it, it was a little ironic. If someone of her status were to marry Mu Lianfeng, old Mistress Mu would think that she was being delusional. She had previously promised Mu Lianfeng that she would marry him. Perhaps this was something that would never happen in this lifetime. She didn't want to be humiliated like this in the future. There's no need for that. Thank you for your concern, old madam. Yuner knows what's going on with Yuner. It's time for dinner. I'll take Daodu out for dinner. Old Madame Mu wanted to continue persuading her, but Zhao Yuner did not seem to listen at all. She looked at her with disdain. So she nodded and let Zhao Yuner take Daodu out for dinner. After Zhao Yuner left, old Madame Mu snorted softly. What kind of person was this? A country bumpkin was a country bumpkin. She had no manners at all. Fortunately, she would not have any dealings with her in the future. Otherwise, she would be furious. For a woman like Zhao Yuner, it was good for her to introduce her servants' grandchildren to her. She really did not know how to appreciate favors. After marrying into the Xueqi manor, she would be a city dweller. Now it seemed that Zhao Yuner only deserved to marry those dirty men in the countryside. Chapter 380. On the way back, Daodu noticed that Zhao Yuner seemed a little unhappy. He asked in a soft voice, "Mother, what's wrong?" "It's nothing," Zhao Yuner said. "But Mother's face is gloomy. I know you're unhappy." Daodu pursed his lips. His little face was full of worry. Seeing that her son was so concerned about her, Zhao Yuner felt a little better. She pulled the corners of her mouth into a smile. "No, you saw Mother smiling. That's why you're not unhappy." Children were easy to fool. Daodu was also fooled by Zhao Yuner for a moment. He saw that Zhao Yuner's face had a smile again. Daodu also cracked his little mouth into a smile. Mother, great-grandmother is very good to Daodu. Today, she brought a lot of delicious things for Daodu. That's good. Zhao Yuner couldn't deny that although old Madame Mu's attitude towards her was a little bad, she was really good to Daodu. Mother, when will we be able to live in such a big house? Our house is so small, so small. After having a comparison, not to mention Daodu, even Zhao Yuner was a little disgusted by her broken thatched house that was about to collapse. Living in a big house was really much more comfortable. Mother, work hard to earn money. In the future you can also build a big house. Aha. Based on old Madame Mu's current attitude towards her, Zhao Yuner estimated that the matter between her and Mu Lianfeng would be temporarily put on hold. Therefore, she still had to earn her own living and take care of Daodu to live a good life. After 2 days, the case officially went to court. After Mu Lianfeng's investigation and evidence, the final responsibility fell on Qin Hailan. The bullfrog that had eaten the food was taken from the batch of goods sent by Qin Hailan. The bullfrog sent by Zhao Yuner had no problems. The county magistrate acted according to the evidence and finally convicted Qin Hailan. Although Qin Hailan didn't intend to murder people, she couldn't shirk the responsibility of selling a toad and a bullfrog for money. Finally, Qin Hailan was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The Fulin restaurant had no intention of harming anyone, but they couldn't avoid responsibility. Thus, the restaurant was fined 200 taels of silver. Just like that, the case was closed. Zhao Yuner was finally cleared of the charges and was not implicated. Walking out of the yamen, Zhao Yuner heaved a sigh of relief. If she was alone, she wouldn't have been able to investigate so many things, let alone clear her name. Perhaps she could only admit that she had been wronged this time. The one who had been imprisoned was her, not Qin Hailan. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng walked out of the cell side by side. "Miss Yuner." Sun Zhongquan called out to Zhao Yuner. He also felt a little guilty about this matter. He knew that he had wronged Zhao Yuner. If he had confessed Qin Hailan earlier, Zhao Yuner wouldn't have been implicated. Sun Zhongquan came over. Zhao Yuner had a cold attitude and didn't want to say anything more to Sun Zhongquan. "Miss Yuner, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. I apologize to you. At that time, I was blinded by lard and accepted that woman's things. Now, this matter has happened. Zhao Yuner snorted softly. Shopkeeper, I've warned you before. Don't let anything happen. Now that something really happened, I can only say that your restaurant lost 200 taels of silver. You asked for it. Chapter 381. Sun Zhongquan felt a little regretful when he thought about it. Not only was he fined 200 taels of silver, but the restaurant's reputation would also be affected in the future. What a restaurant was most afraid of was that customers would eat in the restaurant and have problems, let alone die from eating. The restaurant had been closed for 2 days, and Sun Zhongquan already had a premonition that the business would be miserable when he reopened the restaurant after returning. If he wanted the business to improve, he had to find some unique things. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to attract customers at all. Shopkeeper, it's useless to say this now. Things have already happened, and there's no way to reverse it. You'd better take care of yourself in the future. And the contract we made before you can only buy from me, but you violated the contract, then the cooperation between the two of us ends here, and there is no need to have any contact in the future. Zhao Yuner said coldly. This kind of person wasn't suitable for her to cooperate with in the long term. This time, there was a problem. But fortunately, it was solved. She couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be any problems with cooperating with Sun Zhongquan in the future. If something happened, it would be too late to regret it. There were other ways to earn money, so Sun Zhongquan was fine. Miss Yuner, it's my fault, but we won't stop cooperating. Sun Zhongquan frowned and asked embarrassedly. What's the point of cooperating with a person like Boss Sun who goes back on his word? Zhao Yuner replied. She didn't want to be entangled with Sun Zhongquan anymore, so she pulled Mu Lianfeng and left. On the way, Mu Lianfeng smiled and asked, Yuner, are you really not cooperating with that restaurant? Zhao Yuner nodded and responded. It's good that you don't cooperate. You have to wake up early every day to deliver goods. It's quite tiring. Mu Lianfeng's tone was filled with heartache. Zhao Yuner was a woman after all. She couldn't work as hard as a man. Since she had him in the future, he could give Zhao Yuner someone to rely on. Yuner, I'll take care of you in the future. I'll take care of you. Mu Lianfeng held Zhao Yuner's hand as if he was making a precious promise. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng looked at each other and smiled. A woman should be most touched by a man saying this to her, but Zhao Yuner also understood that this kind of words couldn't be trusted. She was a modern woman with her own independent thoughts. She didn't want to rely on a man for the rest of her life. Let's talk about this later. I'm afraid your grandmother won't agree to our marriage. In. Zhao Yuner could feel Mu Lianfeng's sincerity. She also understood his helplessness, so she didn't want to give Mu Lianfeng any pressure. If they really couldn't be together, then they wouldn't be together. The two of them returned to the Xueqi mansion together. Matriarch Mu was playing with Daodu. Seeing that Daodu's clothes were of poor quality, she specially asked the servants in the mansion to make several sets of clothes for Daodu. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. There were 2 or 3 sets for each season. The clothes were just made and sent over today. Matriarch Mu helped Daodu change into them. The moment Zhao Yuner returned, she saw Daodu in a new set of clothes. He looked just like a little prince. Daodu really looked a lot cuter when he dressed up like this. Chapter 382. Good. Zhao Yuner praised. Daodu likes it. Mother, the new clothes are so comfortable. That's good. The clothes made of silk were very smooth on the body. How could it be uncomfortable? How could the coarse clothes she bought compare to it? Old Madame Mu stepped forward and asked with a smile. Has Miss Yuner's matter been settled? Mu Lianfeng nodded. Yes, Grandma, it's settled. Is Miss Yuner going back soon? Old Madame Mu's tone also revealed a kind of eagerness and impatience. Grandma, Yuner hasn't been in our house for long. How can you say that? She's a girl. How can she stay in other people's house for a long time? This will cause misunderstandings. And Miss Yuner's family will definitely be worried. Naturally, she has to go back. Old Madame Mu said with a smile on her face. But her eyes were mixed with disgust when she looked at Zhao Yuner. To put it bluntly, she didn't like her and wanted to drive her away. This kind of feeling of being driven away was not good. Zhao Yuner frowned. Before Mu Lianfeng said anything, Zhao Yuner said, "Old madam is right. The matter is settled. I really should go back. Old madam, thank you for taking care of Daodu and me during this time." Yuner. Mu Lianfeng was stunned and looked at Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner smiled bitterly. Since she was looked down upon so much, what was the point of her staying in the Xueqi mansion? Instead of being despised like this, it was better to leave sensibly. "Grandma. Feng Miss Yuner said that she wants to go back. You don't have to keep her. Xuang will come tomorrow. You should prepare well. Don't hide from Xuang like before. Give birth to a lovely great-grandson like Daodu with Xuang as soon as possible." Old Madame Mu's tone was a bit strict. Mu Lianfeng wanted to refute, but when he saw Old Madame Mu's sullen face, he was afraid that Old Madame Mu would not only not agree to be with Zhao Yuner at this time, but also be more vigilant against Zhao Yuner in the future. "Young Master Mu, listen to Old Madam. I'll go back and pack first. I'll go back later," Zhao Yuner said in a low voice. The corner of Old Madame Mu's mouth raised into a smile. She felt that Zhao Yuner was quite sensible. Otherwise, she would have kicked Zhao Yuner out. "Miss Yun, I'll send you back in a carriage. Why don't you leave Daodu with me for a few days? I'll send Daodu back later." Old Madame Mu was happy that Zhao Yuner left, but she was a little reluctant to part with Daodu. Zhao Yuner's mouth twitched. She didn't know where Old Madame Mu got the cheek to say such words. She wanted her to leave, but also wanted Daodu to stay. How could such a good thing happen? "I'm very happy that Old Madam likes Daodu, but I only have one child. I can't leave Daodu, so I still have to take Daodu back," Zhao Yun replied faintly. Old Madame Mu looked at Daodu's little face reluctantly. "All right then." After Zhao Yun walked away, Old Madame Mu snorted softly. "A woman suffering with a child. I don't know what she's thinking. Daodu can live a good life with us, but she doesn't let him. She doesn't know how to appreciate favors." Chapter 383. You're speaking up for her. Humph. Anyway, I don't think it's necessary for a woman to make her child suffer. Daodu can have a good life with her, but she doesn't let him. Feng, I don't want to scold you, but you should stay away from this kind of woman. Don't be bewitched by this kind of vixen. Of course, Old Madame Mu didn't say the last sentence. Mu Lianfeng saw that Old Madame Mu couldn't be persuaded and sighed slightly. "Grandma, I'll send Yuner and Daodu back today." "Feng, what are you doing? You're still injured. You should rest at home. There are many servants in the Xueqi mansion. Grandma, I want to send them back personally. Yun has been taking care of me these days. You don't want her to stay in the Xueqi mansion for a while. You should let me send her back," Mu Lianfeng said. He was afraid that Old Madame Mu wouldn't agree and would nag again, so he left in a hurry. Alas, Feng Old Madame Mu sighed again and again. She hoped that her Feng just sent Zhao Yun back and didn't mean anything else. Zhao Yun packed her things. Actually, she didn't have anything. She mainly packed for Daodu. Old Madame Mu made a big bag of clothes for Daodu. There were also some cakes and candies for Daodu. In less than half an hour, Zhao Yun finished packing. The Xueqi mansion had also prepared the carriage. As soon as she came out of the door, she saw a man in black come forward. He looked a little hurried. "Master." The man in black came forward and bowed to Mu Lianfeng respectfully. Zhao Yun had seen this man before. It was Mo Yen. "Why are you in such a hurry? What's the matter?" Mu Lianfeng asked. "Master, there's a letter from the capital," Mo Yen said and took out a letter from his sleeve. He handed it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng opened it and read. "Got it. Go and prepare. We'll go to the capital together tomorrow. Today, I will send Miss Yuner home first," Mu Lianfeng instructed. "Yes, master," the man in black responded, then glanced at Zhao Yuner and Daodu. When he saw Daodu's small face, he was slightly shocked. This child was really similar to his master. Then, he looked at Zhao Yuner and made some guesses. In fact, the last time he saw Zhao Yuner, he felt a sense of familiarity. It was as if he had seen her somewhere before, but he couldn't remember where. When she saw Daodu, she couldn't help but ask, Is Miss Yuner from the Black Mountain village? Mu Lianfeng saw Mo Yen gossiping about Zhao Yuner's residence. Do you think he cares too much about his master? Yes. Zhao Yuner nodded at Mo Yen with a smile. Mo Yen frowned slightly. Was it really the person he was thinking about? All right, you can go now. Why are you gossiping about this as a man? Mu Lianfeng urged with some disdain. Mo Yen found it inappropriate to keep asking, so she left. Yuner, I'll help you up. Mu Lianfeng carried Daodu onto the carriage first before helping Zhao Yuner up in a considerate manner. The carriage slowly made its way to the Black Mountain village. On the way, Mu Lianfeng was rather reluctant to leave. Originally, he wanted to stay for a while longer after sending Zhao Yuner back. Even if Madame Mu urged him, he wouldn't return to his estate. Chapter 384. Father, will you come back after sending Daodu and Mother home? Asked Daodu. Yeah, I'm going to the capital, and I won't be back for a while. I'll visit you and your mother when I'm back. All right. Father, if you're back, please come to visit Daodu and Mother as soon as possible. Yes, yes, of course. Mu Lianfeng rubbed Daodu's head lovingly. Zhao Yuner was interested in the capital that Mu Lianfeng mentioned. The capital wasn't far from Yang City, and it was only 100 miles away. In the 21st century, it would take a few hours to get there by car, but in ancient times, it would take a whole day to get there by horse carriage. Zhao Yuner was planning in her heart that if she had the chance, she would go to the capital in the future. The world was very big, and she had to go out and see more of it. In addition, the capital was a big place where she could make more money. The horse carriage was much faster than the donkey, and they arrived at the village in a short while. When Zhao Yuner arrived at the door of her house, she found it was a mess. Many of the vegetables that she had spent a lot of effort to grow were pulled out by someone. She knew that someone had visited her house. Seeing this, she was a little angry. She had only been away for a few days, and someone in the village had already done something immoral. Zhao Yuner ran to the kitchen to check, and found that the rice and flour in the kitchen were all gone. It seemed that someone had taken advantage of her absence to rob her house. Damn it! Zhao Yuner bit her lower lip and suppressed her anger. She had an impulse to beat someone up. If she knew who it was, she would skin that person alive. Mu Lianfeng's horse carriage arrived at the village, and it attracted the attention of the villagers. Seeing that Zhao Yuner was back, they all went up to see what was going on. They had doubted Mu Lianfeng's identity before, but when they saw Mu Lianfeng's horse carriage and Mu Lianfeng's new clothes, they believed it at once. Judging from his aura, he must be someone important. There was nothing suspicious about him being the heir. Wow, it seems that Yuner's husband is really the heir. That's right, then it's not simple. Little Yuner is going to have a meteoric rise. Exactly. If old Zhao's family knew that Yuner was pregnant with the heir's child, they wouldn't drive Yuner away. They would probably take good care of Yuner at home. Haha, man proposes but God disposes. Old Zhao family deserves it. No matter how well Yuner is doing now, it has nothing to do with them. Zhao Yuner looked inside and out of the house. Except for the broken things in her house that were not taken away, the food and the like were all taken away, including her little donkey. She didn't think about it before she left, but now she felt that she had suffered a great loss. When Lu Fugui heard that Zhao Yuner had returned to the village, he hurriedly rushed to Zhao Yuner's house. Yuner, you're back? It's great that you're back. Lu Fugui said with a smile. Yeah. Zhao Yuner answered indifferently. She didn't have much enthusiasm for Lu Fugui. Her house was ruined, and she thought that Lu Fugui didn't care about it. Chapter 385. Zhao Yuner suspected that the other people in the village had done something sneaky, so someone stood up and said, Yuner girl, the rest of us didn't do anything. It was all done by old Zhao's family. That's right, Yuner girl, don't falsely accuse others. It was all done by old Zhao's family. If you want to find someone, you have to find old Zhao's family. It has nothing to do with us. Zhao Yuner was furious when she heard that it was old Zhao's family. Those shameless people were really amazing. They knew how to make trouble when she wasn't at home. Thinking about it, her things and Xiao Mao were all at old Zhao's house. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's sullen face, Lu Fugui said, Yuna girl, don't be too angry. Your things were taken away by your grandparents. That's because you weren't at home. They were afraid of thieves, so they let your grandparents take care of it first. You can go to old Zhao's house later and get them back. After Lu Fugui finished speaking, Zhao Yun'er was silent for a moment. If Lu Fugui wasn't lying, then she didn't have to pick a fight with old Zhao's family. She only hoped that old Zhao's family could be tactful and return her things to her. They were really just keeping them safe. Got it, Uncle Li Zheng. I'll go get them now. Then go. It's fine as long as you're fine. Everyone has been worried about you these days. Okay. Zhao Yun'er responded. Zhao Yun'er felt that Lu Fugui's words about everyone being worried about her were very ironic. These people in the village probably wanted to see her make a fool of herself. As for old Zhao's family, no one except her parents was worried about her. More and more people came to watch. A woman said loudly, Zhao Yun'er actually came back. Wasn't she arrested for harming others? Why didn't the government deal with this kind of person and release him back? The person who spoke was Chen Erwa's mother, Feng Yu. She had quarreled with Zhao Yun'er before, so she still held some grudges against Zhao Yun'er. Originally, he thought that Zhao Yun'er had been taken away by the government officials. He felt very satisfied. Now that he saw that Zhao Yun'er had returned safely, his heart was very unhappy. I heard that the person was not killed by Yun'er, but by Qin Hailon. Didn't the government take Qin Hailon away yesterday? Does taking Qin Hailon prove that Zhao Yun'er is innocent? Maybe it was Zhao Yun'er who did it. Now that she had Xueqi's support, no one would dare to touch her. In my opinion, Miss Qin is just a scapegoat. Xueqi asked the government officials to arrange for her to be Zhao Yun'er's scapegoat. Feng Yu, what you said makes sense. Zhao Yun'er has Xueqi's support, so it is very easy for her to get Zhao Yun'er out of prison. Then we should stay away from the person who has done such a bad thing, in case she will do it again next time. You're right. What a sin. If it is really Zhao Yun'er who has done those things, won't it be a disaster if she stays in our village? Seeing that the villagers' emotions were stirred up by her, Feng Yu couldn't help but feel a little proud. The more she talked, the more excited she became. Even if Zhao Yun'er came back this time, she should make the villagers dislike her. Chapter 386. The truth wasn't like that. Why should she be slandered like that? If this kind of thing was spread out, other people would follow suit. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to stay in this village any longer. After going through so many things, Zhao Yun'er finally figured it out. People in ancient times were more difficult to educate than people in modern times. Zhao Yun'er had been a policewoman for many years in the 21st century. She was used to peace. Generally, she wouldn't use force if she could solve things peacefully. Now it seemed that she was wrong. The more the people here gave in to her, the more arrogant they would be. They didn't know when to stop, and would bully her even more in the future. Zhao Yun'er walked to Feng Yu with a sullen face. She coldly stared at the woman who was stirring up trouble and making trouble. Being stared at by Zhao Yun'er, Feng Yu's heart suddenly panicked. Zhao Yun'er, what do you want to do? Why are you staring at me like that? Do you want to scare me to death? You look like a ghost. The corner of Zhao Yun'er's mouth evoked a sneer. What, I can't look at the person? I think you're guilty. Is that why you're acting like this? Do you have a guilty conscience? Who's guilty? Zhao Yun'er, don't talk nonsense. I don't know what you're talking about. Feng Yu said, but didn't dare to look into Zhao Yun'er's eyes. Zhao Yun'er sneered. Your voice was so loud just now. Do you think I didn't hear it? Feng Yu was silent for a while. She thought that there was nothing wrong with what she said. Why was Zhao Yun'er so afraid of Zhao Yun'er? In front of so many people in the village, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't dare to do anything to her. Even if Zhao Yun'er really did something to her, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't be able to live a good life in the village in the future in front of so many people. Her reputation as an unreasonable shrew would be spread out. No one would have any contact with Zhao Yun'er in the future. Thinking of this, Feng Yu felt that his confidence had suddenly risen. She puffed out her chest and said to Zhao Yun'er aggressively, So what if you heard what I said? What I said is not unreasonable. If you don't believe me, You can ask our fellow villagers if I'm right. Zhao Yuner looked at Feng Yu a few more times. This woman didn't seem to be completely brainless. At least she knew how to stir up the atmosphere. Although none of the other villagers dared to stand out and criticize Zhao Yuner like Feng Yu, they still whispered in agreement and agreed with Feng Yu's words. With someone speaking up for him, Feng Yu felt more confident. He pointed at Zhao Yuner and said, Zhao Yuner, you harmed Big Sister Qin. It's good enough that you're allowed to return to the village. In my opinion, a vicious woman like you should be chased out of the village. How dare you be so arrogant now? Lord Li Zhang, you have to do something about it, right? Lu Fugui frowned and was about to say something to help Zhao Yuner, but Zhao Yuner said, Feng Yu, do you mean that His Highness colluded with the government to let Qin Hailan take the blame and then let me, the real murderer, out? Well, isn't that the case? Good, very good. The corners of Zhao Yuner's mouth suddenly evoked a rather profound smile. What? Feng Yu panicked when she saw Zhao Yuner's reaction. His Highness, now someone is accusing you of colluding with the government and playing favoritism. How should you deal with it? Zhao Yuner suddenly turned to Mu Lianfeng and asked. Chapter 387. The so-called exile of 3,000 miles meant that she would be sent to the extremely cold places at the border and be recorded as a slave. Her life there would definitely be more painful than being in prison. In prison, she would be able to get out after a few years or more, just like Qin Hailan. However, if she was exiled for 3,000 miles and was recorded as a slave, there would be no hope for her ever again. She might even die on the road before reaching the border. Feng Yu was so frightened by Mu Lianfeng's words that she trembled. I didn't frame you. Wasn't what I said the truth? The corners of Mu Lianfeng's mouth twitched. Of course, it's up to the authorities to decide whether or not I'm being framed. However, sister-in-law, what you said just now is challenging the authority of the authorities and implying that they're being unfair. After being frightened by Mu Lianfeng, Feng Yu knelt on the ground and began to plead. Your Highness, please let me off. It's all this commoner's fault. I won't dare to speak carelessly in the future. Feng Yu was not a fool. She would really be arrested and sent to the authorities just like that. Regardless of whether Mu Lianfeng colluded with the authorities or not, the authorities would definitely insist on their innocence. How could they allow a commoner like her to speak carelessly? They would only convict her in the end. Mu Lianfeng snorted softly. Everyone has to be responsible for their own words and actions. Since you know that you have said something wrong, then slap yourself a few times and I will consider not pursuing the matter. Okay, Your Highness. As Feng Yu spoke, she began to slap herself. After lightly scratching herself a few times, she asked embarrassedly, Your Highness, please take a look. Is this enough? I asked you to slap yourself, but you're like scratching an itch. Since you're so unwilling, then I'll send you to the authorities. Mu Lianfeng said coldly. Feng Yu saw that Mu Lianfeng was not easy to fool. She gritted her teeth and could only be more harsh on herself. However, if she hit too hard, it would really hurt. Slap, Feng Yu slapped herself hard. I didn't hear it. Slap. Feng Yu used more strength. I still didn't hear it. Slap. This time, Feng Yu used all his strength. Only then was Mu Lianfeng satisfied. Feng Yu's face was swollen from the slap. After a few slaps, Feng Yu's face turned into a pig's. Mu Lianfeng then let Feng Yu go. Remember to be careful with your words and actions in the future. Don't say anything that you shouldn't say. Otherwise, the consequences will be more serious than this. Mu Lianfeng warned. Yes. Feng Yu was so scared that he quickly responded. However, she wasn't willing to suffer for nothing today. She would definitely get it back in the future. Lu Fugui also stood up and said, Everyone has seen that Feng Yu has been taught a lesson today. It would be best for everyone not to discuss Yuner's matter and start any rumors. Otherwise, they would be framing the crown prince and framing the Qingming of the government. When the time comes, don't blame me for not warning you if you receive any punishment. As Li Zhang, Lu Fugui had accumulated some aura and authority over the years. The villagers were so scared that they didn't dare to talk about it anymore. If they were really arrested by the government, they would suffer a great loss. Therefore, one by one, they agreed, Li Zhang is right. We definitely won't speak carelessly. After dealing with Feng Yu's matter, Zhao Yuner brought Daodu and Mu Lianfeng to old Zhao's house. Many people followed along to join in the fun. On the way, Zhao Yuner smiled and said to Mu Lianfeng, "You really don't show mercy when you tease people." Mu Lianfeng smiled slightly. Chapter 388. In the past, he had even killed many people, not to mention teasing people like this. "Yuner, if anything happens in the future, I'll be there. Naturally, I won't let anyone bully you. When I come back from the capital, I'll marry you. I know Grandma may not agree, but this time, I'm going to do something for the Emperor. When the time comes, the Emperor will definitely give me some rewards. When the time comes, I'll ask the Emperor for you. With the Emperor's permission, even if Grandma objects, it's useless." Zhao Yuner didn't know how to respond to Mu Lianfeng. She still felt that Mu Lianfeng saw things too simply. Even if the Emperor granted her a marriage and she married into the Xueqi manor, would old Madame Mu treat her well? She probably didn't like her no matter how she looked at her. Mu Lianfeng only had one relative. His parents had passed away early. So, he wouldn't do anything that would go against old Madame Mu and make her sad. Zhao Yuner didn't want to force Mu Lianfeng. She thought that if the two of them were really together, they wouldn't have to go to the Xueqi manor. She would build a big courtyard in the countryside. Mu Lianfeng could come and live there. As for status, this thing was too superficial. What she pursued was the two of them being together, not those dispensable things of formality. If Mu Lianfeng came to live with her, she naturally wouldn't have to deal with old Madame Mu. "Mu Lianfeng, if old Madame still doesn't agree, what should we do?" Mu Lianfeng was silent for a moment. "Yuner, if Grandma still doesn't agree, worst comes to worst, I'll move out and live with you. From then on, I won't go back to the Xueqi manor. We'll be together as a family. Anyway, except for you, I, Mu Lianfeng, will never marry another woman in this life." Zhao Yuner didn't expect Mu Lianfeng's answer to be the same as what she thought. It was already very rare for a man, especially a man of such status, to do this for her. "Okay, then I'll wait for you." Zhao Yuner smiled. "If you really leave the Xueqi manor and come to my place, I'll take care of you." Zhao Yuner was both joking and serious. If Mu Lianfeng really left the Crown Prince's mansion, he would not be able to enjoy the same treatment as the Crown Prince's mansion. Even his monthly allowance would be confiscated. At that time, Mu Lianfeng might have to consider the problem of survival. Zhao Yuner thought about it. Her goal now was to raise a son and a man. Mu Lianfeng was amused by Zhao Yuner. "Yuner, how can a woman support a man? Don't worry, even if I leave the Crown Prince's residence, I'll make sure you and Daodu live a good life." Zhao Yuner felt a little sweet in her heart. They soon arrived at old Zhao's house. It was almost time for lunch. Old Zhao's men came back from the field and were resting in the yard. As for the woman, she was busy preparing lunch. "Third sister-in-law, what are you doing in the courtyard? The pot is already hot. Why aren't you bringing the dishes in? You haven't finished washing them for half a day." Li Chueying yelled at Liang Jinqiao. "Coming, coming." Liang Jinqiao responded. He carried the dishes in the basin and went to the kitchen. Hua Chunhua was also in the kitchen. She started scolding. "Have you been bewitched? You're so absent-minded when doing such a small thing. If you do this again, I'll skin you alive." Liang Jinqiao lowered his head and sighed. "Mother, I'm just worried about Yuner." Sigh. Chapter 389. Li Chueying hurriedly chimed in. "That's right, Mother. That B*TCH will be punished by the heavens. I think Zhao Yun probably won't be able to come back. Look at old Fifth, he went to Yang City and hasn't brought back any news yet." Hua Chunhua thought about it and agreed. However, her heart ached for the money her family had spent. After Zhao Yun was taken away, Zhao Wenxing heard the news and rushed back from town. He hurriedly went to Yang City to inquire about the news. Someone in town had a relative who worked in the government, so he wanted to use his connections to get Zhao Yun out. However, using connections like this would definitely cost money, so old Zhao's family took out 20 taels of silver. 20 taels of silver was not a small amount. The family's money was in Hua Chunhua's hands, and Hua Chunhua was unwilling to take it. In the end, Zhao Baoshan had no choice but to use his own savings. Without thinking, Hua Chunhua thought that Zhao Baoshan had hidden his private savings. She started to cry, make a fuss, and threatened to hang herself. She was unwilling to spend so much money on such a little tch. In the end, she was scolded back by Zhao Baoshan, and only then did she shut up. Hua Chunhua had been brooding. She didn't know how long old Zhao's family would spend with 20 taels of silver. Now, her plan was ruined. How could she feel comfortable spending it on a useless person? After hearing Hua Chunhua and Li Chueying's words, Liang Jinqiao frowned and became even more anxious. He was worried that Zhao Yun really wouldn't be able to come back. Just as he was worrying, a voice suddenly sounded from outside. Yun is here. Yun is all right? Second sister, you're back. Seeing that Zhao Yun was back, old Zhao's family had different reactions. Zhao Yun made her feel a little disappointed. Liang Jinqiao hurriedly ran out of the house. Yun, you're finally back. Mother was worried sick. Liang Jinqiao held Zhao Yun's hand and wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes emotionally. A few days after Zhao Yun left, Liang Jinqiao looked much more haggard. He probably couldn't sleep because he was worried about her these past few days. Mother, don't worry. Aren't I back now? It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back. Liang Jinqiao heaved a sigh of relief. His heart, which had been hanging in the air, was finally at ease. When Liang Jinqiao saw Mu Lianfeng standing behind Zhao Yun, he asked, Yun, did Xueqi help you come back safely this time? Yes. Zhao Yun nodded. Upon hearing this, Liang Jinqiao hurriedly knelt in front of Mu Lianfeng and thanked Mu Lianfeng. Xueqi, it's all thanks to you this time. I can't thank you enough. Mu Lianfeng hurriedly helped Liang Jinqiao up from the ground. Auntie, you're too kind. Yun was innocent in the first place. It was just a small matter. Then I still have to thank Xueqi. All right, Mother, you don't have to be so polite with him. Zhao Yun said with a smile. Hua Chunhua also came out of the house. When she saw Mu Lianfeng, she trembled and was a little scared. This time, Mu Lianfeng was dressed luxuriously. At a glance, she could tell that he was a person of status. She also knew that Mu Lianfeng was Xueqi. Just as Hua Chunhua was about to hide, she suddenly heard a shout. Stop right there. It was Zhao Yun's voice. Hua Chunhua stopped in her tracks and turned around stiffly. You wretched girl. Why are you so fierce? Are you trying to scare me to death? Grandmother, what are you afraid of? Is it because you have a guilty conscience that you were frightened by my shout? Chapter 390. Zhao Yun hooked her finger at Hua Chunhua and said, Grandma, shouldn't you return my things to me? What things? Of course, the things that you took from my house. Zhao Yun's voice became colder. Old Zhao's family didn't touch those things after they brought them back. Hua Chunhua was afraid of Mu Lianfeng, so she asked Li Chueying to take out those things. He placed them in front of Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Yun, the things are all here. We didn't take advantage of you. You can count them yourself. Zhao Yun took a look and saw that the things were indeed not missing. Then she said, these are all correct. Where's my Xiao Mao? Xiao Mao? What Xiao Mao? Of course it's the donkey. Grandma, don't play dumb. Don't tell me that you didn't bring my Xiao Mao back. Io, you wretched girl. Aren't you wronging me again? Your Xiao Mao ran away by itself. I didn't get it back. Zhao Yun frowned. Xiao Mao ran away by itself? It was tied up in the wooden shed. How could it run away by itself? Mu Lianfeng saw that he couldn't hide what old Zhao's family did, so he told Zhao Yun what happened that day. He didn't want to tell Zhao Yun, because he didn't want Zhao Yun to worry. But now he had to tell her. Zhao Yun was furious when she heard it. She didn't expect that old Zhao's family would do such a shameless thing on the day she left. Zhao Yun coldly glanced at Hua Chunhua and scolded, how could they do this kind of robbery? How interesting. Uncle Li Zhang, I don't know if you're going to take care of this matter. If you don't, I'll go to the authorities and report it. A two-tailed donkey and these things will be locked up for at least a year, right? When Hua Chunhua heard this, her legs trembled. He looked at the other members of old Zhao's family for help. Zhao Ping stood up again and began to defend Hua Chunhua. Zhao Yun, when did Grandma snatch your things? Aren't all your things here? It's not like you're missing anything. As for your donkey, it grew legs and ran away. Who can you blame? Hua Chunhua also hurriedly replied. Yeah, Pinger is right. Who stole your things? Don't slander others. Lu Fugui stood up and sighed. He began to mediate. Yun your family. Let's just forget about this. Your grandmother and the others did go a little overboard that day. But these things are still here. I'll return them to you now. As for your family's donkey, you did run away by yourself. Even if you report it to the authorities, they might not necessarily convict you. So Lu Fugui meant that she should just let it go and not pursue this matter. She was letting old Zhao's family take advantage of this for nothing? Zhao Yun, couldn't take this lying down. Just as she was thinking about how to vent her anger on old Zhao's family, Mu Lianfeng said indifferently, since that's the case, we won't pursue this matter. Before this heir apparent left last time, I said that when this heir apparent returned, I would ask for Grandma Zhao's punishment. A faint smile hung on Mu Lianfeng's lips. His sharp gaze landed on Hua Chunhua. Hua Chunhua immediately realized what was going on. She was so frightened that she quickly knelt in front of Mu Lianfeng. Heir apparent, please let me go. I was wrong. Zhao Yun had never seen Hua Chunhua so frightened. Chapter 391. One had to know that people like Hua Chunhua weren't afraid of being beaten. Let you off? How can that be? Don't tell me I have to take back what I've said? Where will my dignity be in the future? This. The people who came to old Zhao's house to watch all knew that Hua Chunhua wanted to eat feces last time. This time, Mu Lianfeng meant that he was going to let Hua Chunhua eat feces again. Everyone held back their laughter and waited to watch the show. Lord Heir, my wife is not sensible. Can you let her off? Zhao Baoshan went forward to plead. It was not that he wanted to protect Hua Chunhua, but old Zhao's family could not afford to lose face like this. They could not let old Zhao's family be mocked for the rest of their lives because of this incident. Let her off? Considering what she did, this punishment is already considered light. You were the ones who suggested this punishment in the first place, Mu Lianfeng said calmly. Zhao Baoshan looked at Zhao Xinhui with disappointment. If it were not for this daughter of his, such an embarrassing incident would not have happened. Zhao Xinhui pursed her lips and turned her head to the side, not daring to look into Zhao Baoshan's eyes. This is all because my daughter is not sensible. She spoke carelessly. Lord Heir, why don't you change the punishment? You've changed the punishment so many times. What you said doesn't count. Then, can I change my words and follow the original punishment method? Mu Lianfeng was talking about sewing Hua Chunhua's mouth with a needle. Hua Chunhua was so frightened that she quickly said, Lord Heir, you should let me eat feces. Don't sew my mouth. Zhao Baoshan glared at Hua Chunhua again. This old woman was really too useless. Zhao Yun, choked on Hua Chunhua's words. She looked at Mu Lianfeng with a stunned expression. Eat feces? Did she hear wrongly? Let Hua Chunhua eat shit? Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yuner looking at him and smiled gently at Zhao Yuner. What's wrong? Yuner? Mu Lianfeng, I'm more curious about what happened after I left that day. Why did Mu Lianfeng punish Hua Chunhua to eat shit? Could it be that Mu Lianfeng had such a strong taste? She couldn't tell. Mu Lianfeng's smile widened. Seeing Zhao Yuner's curious expression and the way she was sizing him up, he was afraid that Zhao Yun would misunderstand him, so he told her what happened that day. After Zhao Yun heard this, she couldn't help but burst out laughing. This Zhao Xinhui was definitely the most deceitful person she had ever met. He could even come up with such a rotten idea. Hua Chunhua had doted on her daughter like a treasure for so many years, but now it seemed that all her love was in vain. Zhao Xinhui didn't care at all. If you eat shit, then don't stay in our old Zhao's house anymore. Old Zhao's family doesn't have such an embarrassing person. Zhao Baoshan said harshly again. Today he really made up his mind. If Hua Chunhua did such an embarrassing thing, he would divorce her. He would chase Hua Chunhua back to her parents' house. This way, Old Zhao's family wouldn't be laughed at so badly. You old man, then what do you think we should do? Let the air sew my mouth? Then I'll probably die of pain. In any case, I've served you for most of my life. Why are you so cruel to me? Hua Chunhua sat on the ground and wailed like a ghost. Although Zhao Yun wanted to see Hua Chunhua suffer and punish this old woman, the way she ate shit was too strong. Isn't it all your fault? Looking for trouble when you have nothing to do, you just want to pick on Yun. Otherwise, how could you offend the heir? You asked for it. Zhao Baoshan coldly snorted. Chapter 392. Hua Chunhua pursed her lips at Zhao Baoshan's scolding. If she had known that Zhao Yun was backed by the heir, she wouldn't have dared to cause trouble even if she was beaten to death. Old man, what's the point of saying this now? Hua Chunhua retorted. Humph, if you want to get away, why don't you go and beg Yun? Who knows? Maybe the heir will let you off if she forgives you. After Zhao Baoshan finished speaking, Hua Chunhua looked at Zhao Yuner and then at Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, That's right. If Yun forgives you, I can consider letting you off. Mu Lianfeng still wanted to let Zhao Yun have the initiative in this matter. Zhao Yun's idea of torturing people was definitely better than his. Hua Chunhua looked at Zhao Yuner and said, Yuner, you're also from our hometown. You can't just watch your grandmother be humiliated like this, right? People will laugh at our family. In the future, your sister and 2 younger brothers' marriages will also be affected. Hua Chunhua started to play the emotional card. She knew that it was useless to force Zhao Yuner to do this. Hua Chunhua was considered smart. When she said this, Zhao Yun carefully considered it. She didn't care about Zhao Ping, whether she got married or not had nothing to do with her. However, she had 2 younger brothers. Zhao Yun didn't want old Zhao's reputation to affect them. This time, she only wanted to teach Hua Chunhua a lesson for a moment of pleasure. After she taught her a lesson, old Zhao's scandal would spread quickly. Zhao Yun thought about it. Why not use this opportunity to do something else? Grandma, I've already separated from the family. Your old Zhao's matters have nothing to do with me. Other people's matters have nothing to do with me either. I don't need to worry about this. You heartless person. How can you be so cruel to your grandmother and family? Hua Chunhua started to wail and howl again. Zhao Baoshan frowned. Looking at Zhao Yuner, he knew that she wasn't going to let Hua Chunhua off. He sighed slightly and signaled Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao with his eyes. Zhao Wenhua didn't want to persuade Zhao Yuner, but he was afraid that Zhao Baoshan and Hua Chunhua would cause trouble for him again. Thus he said, Yuner, forget it. Your grandmother knows her mistake. She definitely won't cause trouble at your place again. Zhao Yun glanced at Zhao Wenhua. Why was her father so cowardly? He was speaking up for old Zhao's family again. She won't do it again? I don't know how many times Grandma has caused trouble, but she never changes. Who knows if she'll do it again next time? Yun, can you promise me that you won't do it again in front of everyone in the village? Zhao Baoshan asked embarrassedly. Zhao Yun pretended to be conflicted. Actually, it's not impossible, but you have to promise me one more thing. Yun, tell us. If we can do it, we'll definitely agree, Zhao Baoshan agreed. Hua Chunhua also quickly agreed. That's right. As long as Master Heir Presumptive lets me off, Yun, you can ask for anything. We'll definitely do it if we can. Just don't let her eat such *T in front of so many people. Zhao Yun smirked. You can definitely do it. My request is to split up the family. My parents and 3 branches will be separated from old Zhao's family. You have to give them everything that belongs to the family. As for the other branches, it's up to you whether you want to split them or not. Chapter 393. They never thought that Zhao Yuner would suggest this. Let the 3rd branch separate? Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao were even more stunned. It wasn't that the 3rd branch hadn't thought of separating, but they didn't dare to mention it to Hua Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan in the past. Now, Zhao Yun helped them bring it up. If they could separate this time, the 3rd branch was naturally willing, so they didn't say anything. First, they would listen to how Zhao Baoshan, Hua Chunhua, and the rest of old Zhao's family would respond. Zhao Yun had always hoped that her parents could separate from old Zhao's family, but unfortunately, she didn't have the chance. With her parents' temperaments, they didn't dare to make a fuss, and separating wasn't an easy matter. This time, if they could change the troublesome Hua Chunhua into the third branch, it would be worth it. Seeing that old Zhao's family didn't say anything, Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows. Grandfather, grandmother, you don't agree, right? Then forget it. Let's just stick to the previous punishment. Zhao Baoshan hurriedly waved his hand, frowned, and said in a deep voice, Yun girl, are you really going to let your parents separate? It won't be good for them to separate. Tianfu still needs to go to school. If they separate, old Zhao's family won't provide for him. Grandfather, you don't have to worry about this. If the third branch separates, old Zhao's family won't pay for Tianfu's school fees. It was only a few taels of silver a year. Zhao Yun believed that she could earn enough to provide for Zhao Tianfu. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, the rest of old Zhao's family had no reason to object. If the third branch separates, there would still be a sum of money left over from Zhao Tianfu's school fees. Old man, let's separate. Let the third branch move out. Anyway, we have a lot of people. It's fine even without the third branch. Hua Chunhua hurriedly urged. She was afraid that if Zhao Baoshan did not agree, Mu Lianfeng would make her eat *T. That's right, father. Let the third branch move out. Use the money from Tianfu province for my Tianyu studies. Li Chueying hurriedly said. Old Zhao's family had a good plan. No matter how good Zhao Yun's life was, she wouldn't help the third branch, so old Zhao's family couldn't benefit from it. On the other hand, Zhao Tianlong would definitely be able to pass the high scholar examination after this trip to the capital city. Old Zhao's family would also be able to achieve meteoric success. The third branch could only wait to regret it. Once they moved out, old Zhao's family's good days would no longer have anything to do with the third branch. Zhao Baoshan was unwilling to move out. They were a good family with 2 elders still around. There was no reason to move out. What he was most afraid of was that if the third branch moved out, the other branches of the first and second branch would also make a fuss about moving out. However, if they didn't move out and didn't agree to Zhao Yun's request, would they really let Hua Chunhua eat *T and embarrass herself? Zhao Yun was a little impatient. If you don't agree, then forget it. I don't have that much time to waste with you. Okay. Of course it's okay. Yun girl, don't be anxious. Hua Chunhua hurriedly said and then poked Zhao Baoshan. Old man, hurry up and say something. Otherwise I'll eat *T. Hey, third brother's wife, what are you thinking? Do you want to move out? Zhao Baoshan sighed and looked at Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinqiao. Being called out by Zhao Baoshan, Zhao Tianhua didn't know what to say. If he said that he wanted to move out, wouldn't he hurt his parents' feelings? Father, Chapter 394. In the past few years, Liang Jinqiao didn't have the opportunity to help Zhao Yun because the third branch hadn't been separated. Everything belonged to old Zhao's family and wasn't something they could use as they wished. Every time they gave something, they had to be sneaky, as if they were thieves. If the third branch didn't seize the opportunity this time, it wouldn't be so easy to separate in the future. Zhao Baoshan looked deeply at Liang Jinqiao. Third brother's wife was usually soft-hearted, but now she actually said such words. Since third brother's wife has said so, I have no reason to not separate. Then the third branch will be separated from our old Zhao's family today. Zhao Baoshan finally relented, but his expression was a little lonely. Just as he was about to talk about how the third branch would be separated, Feng Zhangxia suddenly asked, Yun is Dao De really your son? When Feng Zhangxia said this, old Zhao's family finally reacted. If Dao Du was the son of young Master Xueqi, then the third branch would be at a disadvantage if they were separated. It was naturally good to have a little relationship with young Master Xueqi. Zhao Yun's eyes flashed with a touch of complexity. Feng Zhangxia deliberately asked this, probably because she had some ulterior motives. Of course not. If he was young Master Xueqi's son, would I have suffered these 3 years? Feng Zhangxia thought about it and agreed. If he was young Master Xueqi's son, would Zhao Yun still come back to the countryside? Mu Lianfeng probably said it casually that day to take Daodu away. Okay, there's no need to ask about other things. Let's talk about the separation first. Zhao Baoshan brought the matter to the main topic. He was a little afraid that Daodu's identity would be discovered. Okay. Old Zhao's family responded. Coincidentally, Li Zhang was present today. There were many villagers who came as well. With Li Zhang as a witness, there would be no disputes after the family split. Old Zhao's family didn't have many things. After some discussion, they decided to give the third branch 1 mu of paddy field and 1 mu of dry land. As for the rooms, the third bedroom would still be in the original one, but the kitchen would have to be rebuilt. As for the money, Hua Chunhua gritted her teeth and took out 800 copper coins and gave it to the third branch. The money was enough for the third branch for a while. Old Zhao's family also got some of the food. The third branch was satisfied with this result. At least with so many things, they could support Old Zhao's family for a while. The most important thing was that they could move away from Old Zhao's A-class family. Yun, look, we've already broken up with this family. Can we just forget about your grandmother? Zhao Baoshan asked. Zhao Yun nodded. Then let's forget about it. But it doesn't mean that we'll forget about it the next time. I know, Yun. Your grandmother won't go to your place to make trouble if she has nothing to do. Okay. Zhao Yun responded faintly. Seeing that Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng had left, Hua Chunhua was sure that she was safe. She heaved a sigh of relief and sat down on the ground. Mother, what's the matter? Li Chueying went up and asked politely. Zhao Xinhui also put on a rare act. He went up to Hua Chunhua and asked her with concern, Mother, what's wrong with you? They've already left. Why are you still so scared? Hua Chunhua waved her hand. You silly girl, you don't know. My legs are still weak. Hurry up and help me up. Chapter 395. The last time she came back, Zhao Xinhui was severely scolded by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan scolded her for being heartless and making her own mother eat such *tea. Zhao Xinhui was worried that Zhao Baoshan was in a bad mood today and that she would be scolded again, so she hurriedly pretended to be concerned about Hua Chunhua. When Zhao Xinhui approached Hua Chunhua, she smelled the stench of urine and couldn't help but frown. Zhao Xinhui frowned and hurriedly let go of Hua Chunhua. There was a hint of disdain in her voice. Mother, have you not bathed in a long time? Why do you still smell like urine? Hua Chunhua stretched her nose and sniffed. She asked, Really? I just bathed the day before yesterday. How can I smell like urine again? Did you not wash yourself clean? How can that be? If you didn't wash yourself clean, it means that you didn't wipe off the dust on your body. It's impossible that you can't get rid of the smell of urine. But mother, you smell it on your body. Second sister-in-law. Smell it. Li Chueying leaned over and sniffed. Mother, it does smell a little stinky. Hua Chunhua was puzzled. What was going on? Let's not talk about this for now. Second sister-in-law. Hurry and help me up. Li Chueying endured the stench of urine and helped Hua Chunhua up. Just as he helped Hua Chunhua up, Zhao Xinhui exclaimed, Mother, you peed in your pants. Li Chueying also looked at Hua Chunhua's butt and found that it was wet. There was a wet mark next to Hua Chunhua's butt. It was obvious that she had urinated. No wonder Hua Chunhua smelled like urine. It turned out to be because of this. I peed in my pants? Hua Chunhua opened her mouth. She was also a little surprised. How could she have peed in her pants? Her daughter's voice was so loud that everyone heard it. The villagers who were about to leave couldn't help but cover their mouths and laugh when they heard Zhao Xinhui's words. This old woman was so old, but she still peed in her pants. How could she be so useless? Mother, why don't you see it yourself? Your pants are so wet. Zhao Xinhui complained. Hua Chunhua touched her butt and found it was indeed wet. She was probably too scared and didn't even know that she peed in her pants. Hua Chunhua felt very embarrassed for a moment. Hearing the laughter coming from all directions, she felt even more embarrassed. If it wasn't for her daughter shouting so loudly, they wouldn't have found out. Now, she had lost a lot of face. Don't shout so loudly next time. It'll be so embarrassing if other people find out. Zhao Xinhui curled her lips. I know, mother. I shouted out in a moment of excitement. Your hand touched my pants. Don't touch me. Zhao Xinhui said and moved away immediately. The more Zhao Baoshan looked at Zhao Xinhui, the more he disliked her. How could he raise such a heartless girl? He didn't know whether Zhao Xinhui was mentally retarded or not. She didn't know what she should do and what she shouldn't do. Father, I'll go and see if Yuner needs any help. I'll go and help her. Zhao Xinhui said to Zhao Baoshan. It was rare to see Zhao Xinhui being so sensible. It would be good for her to help Zhao Yuner, so Zhao Baoshan nodded. Go ahead. Sure. Zhao Xinhui ran away excitedly. Chapter 396. However, Zhao Xinhui's intention was not to help Zhao Yuner. Instead, she wanted to take the opportunity to get close to Mu Lianfeng. If she didn't find more opportunities to hang out in front of Mu Lianfeng, how could Mu Lianfeng remember her? Zhao Ping saw through Zhao Xinhui's thoughts and hurriedly caught up with Zhao Xinhui's footsteps. Master, I'll also go and help Yuner. Seeing these two people who were usually as lazy as maggots suddenly say such words, Zhao Baoshan couldn't help but shake his head. He felt that it was really strange. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng returned to Zhao Yuner's dilapidated house. Everything in the house had been rummaged through, so it was a bit messy. She had to tidy it up again. Looking at the original vegetable garden that had been ruined, Zhao Yuner felt an indescribable heartache. Not only had some of the vegetables been pulled out, but chickens and ducks had also been put in. The leaves of the vegetables that had just sprouted were riddled with holes. Although these vegetables weren't worth much, they were Zhao Yuner's painstaking efforts after all. After working so hard for so many days, the things were ruined. She definitely felt bad. Zhao Yuner first went to the house to tidy it up. She arranged everything neatly, then took a broom and swept it inside and out again. Yuner, I'll go and fetch water for you. Mu Lianfeng said. There was no water in the water tank at home. Wiping the table and wiping the stove required water. Mu Lianfeng went out to fetch water. At this time, the third branch was also busy dividing and cleaning things in old Zhao's house. Her two younger brothers didn't come over. Otherwise, Zhao Tianan would definitely help her carry water. Zhao Yuner was a woman, so it was still a bit difficult for her to carry water back. Seeing Mu Lianfeng bring it up, Zhao Yuner said, Mu Lianfeng, you don't know where the river is. Let me go. It's okay. Daodu can take me there. This kind of work is supposed to be done by a man. Seeing Mu Lianfeng insist, Zhao Yuner smiled and said, Then you go. Let Daodu take you. Yes. Zhao Yuner was worried. Mu Lianfeng had been pampered for so many years. Would he know how to do this kind of rough work? Although carrying water wasn't a difficult task, if it wasn't done well, it would be quite strenuous. If it wasn't done well, it would be easy for the water to splash onto himself. Daddy, let's go. Daodu ran ahead excitedly. At this moment, Daodu couldn't wait to drag Mu Lianfeng to stroll around the village and show everyone that he also had a daddy. And such a tall and his daddy. Yes. Mu Lianfeng carried 2 buckets of water and began to walk out of the door. When Zhao Yuner saw Mu Lianfeng carrying buckets of water, she felt that he was a bit out of place. Mu Lianfeng's temperament was really too good. He didn't look like someone who would do this kind of rough work in the countryside. This kind of work should be done by the mountain men in the countryside. Mu Lianfeng seemed to feel Zhao Yuner's scorching gaze. After walking a few steps, he turned around and asked, Yuner, why are you looking at me like that? Zhao Yuner smiled and said, Nothing. I just think that you look a little funny. Funny? Is that so? Mu Lianfeng raised his eyebrows. Yes. A little. Haha, it's because this heir also looks very handsome when carrying buckets of water, right? Mu Lianfeng said somewhat narcissistically. Zhao Yuner knew that Mu Lianfeng was just joking with her. She still rolled her eyes and said, Narcissist. Mu Lianfeng's laughter became louder. He felt that joking with Zhao Yuner actually brought the two of them closer. Only people who were familiar with each other would do this, right? Chapter 397. Mu Lianfeng had only taken a few steps when he heard Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er's voices behind him. The two of them greeted Mu Lianfeng in a flattering manner. Lord Heir. Mu Lianfeng stopped in his tracks and raised his eyebrows. What can I do for you two ladies? His voice was mild. He wanted to see if Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er were here to cause trouble for Zhao Yun. Zhao Xinhui pinched her handkerchief and bashfully looked at Mu Lianfeng. Lord Heir, why are you carrying a bucket of water? Who wants to carry water? Do you need my help? Zhao Ping'er was unwilling to be left behind. That's right. Lord Heir, is there anything you need our help with? The two of us can help you together. Zhao Xinhui was displeased to see Zhao Ping'er being so attentive in front of Mu Lianfeng. She thought that an ugly woman like Zhao Ping'er had the nerve to stroll in front of Mu Lianfeng. Wasn't she afraid of disgusting him? Help me. Mu Lianfeng chuckled, and there was an additional look in his eyes. Zhao Yun'er walked out and stood to the side. When she saw Zhao Ping'er and Zhao Xinhui acting like this, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. These two women were really interesting. Both of them were trying to curry favor with Mu Lianfeng. They must be up to no good. That's right. Lord Heir, it looks like you're really carrying water. How can a person of your status do this kind of work? Zhao Yun'er is really too much. She doesn't know the rules at all. Zhao Xinhui complained and then glanced at Zhao Yun'er angrily. Zhao Yun'er only found it a little ridiculous. She couldn't be bothered to bicker with Zhao Xinhui and wanted to see what she would say next. This lord is a man. It's understandable that I'm helping Yun'er do some work. If the two ladies don't have anything else, then this lord will take his leave. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng was about to leave, Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er hurriedly chased after him. Lord Heir, let us help you. As Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er spoke, the two of them each took one of the wooden buckets that Mu Lian was carrying. Since the two ladies are so enthusiastic, then I'll leave the task of carrying water to the two of you. This Lord Heir will go back and rest first. Mu Lianfeng curved the corners of his mouth and smiled magnificently. He didn't forget to add, I might need a little more water, so I'll have to trouble the two ladies to make a few more trips. After Mu Lianfeng finished speaking, Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er were all stunned. Mu Lianfeng meant that the two of them should go and that he wouldn't go alone. But by offering to help, they wanted to hang out in front of Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Xinhui pursed her lips and said, Lord Heir, you're really not going? Didn't the two ladies say that they wanted to help? Each of you is carrying a bucket. What can this Lord Heir do to help? Or are the two ladies unwilling to help? Zhao Xinhui hurriedly waved her hand. No, Lord Heir, I didn't mean that. You're the Lord Heir. Naturally, you should rest. Then the two ladies can go and carry water. Oh, okay. Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er reluctantly walked towards the river. They really didn't manage to hook up with Mu Lianfeng. Instead, they had to work. How tiring would it be to carry water? Just one trip was enough, and they had to make a few more. Seeing that Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er had left, a sly look flashed across Mu Lianfeng's eyes. Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but ask, You're really letting them carry water? Chapter 398. Zhao Yun'er also smiled. She knew that Mu Lianfeng was teasing Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er. Now, Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er didn't end up well with Mu Lianfeng. Instead, they were sent to work by Mu Lianfeng. She was very curious. If Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er found out the truth, how much trauma would they feel in their hearts? As for Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er, because of Zhao Yun'er, Mu Lianfeng also somewhat disliked these two people. Just making them work was already the lightest punishment. Of course, Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping'er should be glad that they didn't do anything too excessive to Zhao Yun'er. Otherwise, Mu Lianfeng, I realize that you weren't like this in the past. Or should I say, I know too little about you? Zhao Yun'er said with a smile. In the past, Mu Lianfeng's image in front of Zhao Yun'er was that of a serious and proper man. Now, she felt that Mu Lianfeng was somewhat two-faced. Zhao Yun'er didn't know if she could continue to interact with Mu Lianfeng. What else could she discover about Mu Lianfeng that was different from the image in her heart? Yun'er, maybe you don't know me well enough. There's still a long way to go. You will have a deeper understanding of what kind of person I am. Mu Lianfeng smiled slightly, revealing a charming smile. Zhao Yun hurriedly turned her head. She was afraid that if she looked at Mu Lianfeng again, she would be fascinated by him. Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping walked towards the river in the village. Halfway there, Zhao Xinhui directly handed the wooden bucket in her hand to Zhao Ping and said to Zhao Ping, help me hold it. Zhao Ping frowned and said reluctantly, Auntie, you have hands. Why do you want me to hold it? Why do you talk so much nonsense when I'm asking you to hold it for me? My hands are tired from carrying it. It's so sore. Zhao Xinhui put the wooden bucket on the ground and rubbed her wrists. For so long, Zhao Xinhui was a person who didn't do household chores. She couldn't even bear to do a little work. So she found it difficult to carry a wooden bucket that weighed a few kilograms. Seeing Zhao Xinhui like this, Zhao was her auntie. Her sister-in-law was really too much. She only knew how to bully her and push all the work to her. She clearly didn't have the life of an eldest miss, but she liked to do things that only an eldest miss would do. Wasn't it difficult for her to carry the wooden bucket? Now she was carrying 2 wooden buckets. Would her auntie make her carry 2 buckets of water by herself when they came back later? She wasn't a man and didn't have that much strength. Why are you still in a daze? Why aren't you moving? Zhao Xinhui urged unhappily and said to Zhao Ping. She was so dazed that it was annoying to look at her. Zhao Ping then reluctantly lifted Zhao Xinhui's wooden bucket. The sooner we bring the water back, the sooner we can talk to Master Xueqi. Do you understand? Zhao Xinhui whispered to Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was instantly energized when she heard Zhao Xinhui's words. Auntie, you're right. We should bring the water back as soon as possible. Chapter 399. Zhao Xinhui touched her own face as she spoke. Her face was what she was most satisfied with. If a woman had a beautiful face, she would have capital. She wouldn't have to worry about not being able to hook up with rich men. And, how can you say that about me? Zhao Ping complained sadly. Zhao Ping didn't feel anything before Zhao Xinhui mentioned it, but Zhao Ping remembered Lu San's reaction when he hugged her and saw her face. Was it destined that no man would like her just because she was ugly? In fact, if she didn't have the birthmark on her face, she would be very ugly too. I didn't say anything wrong. Zhao Ping, you're ugly. You're probably the ugliest woman in our village. Zhao Xinhui said directly. She didn't care about Zhao Ping's feelings at all. Zhao Ping was even sadder. It was fine if they said she was ugly, but now they directly defined her as the ugliest woman in the village. How could she accept it? She couldn't help but mutter, Aunt, I'm not the ugliest woman in the village. Jin Hua is the ugliest woman in the village. Jin Hua's appearance appeared in Zhao Xinhui's mind. She was really fat and strong. Most importantly, her face was full of pockmarks. Just thinking about it made her feel disgusted. She frowned and said, Then you're the second ugliest woman in our village. Jin Hua is the ugliest. It was a bad comment, but Zhao Xinhui was happy to hear it. Aunt, I told you. I'm not the ugliest woman in the village. Zhao Ping said with a smile. Zhao Xinhui rolled her eyes in her heart. So what? She was still ugly. Aunt, Jin Hua is the ugliest woman in our village. If she can get married, I'm sure I can get married in the future too. Zhao Ping began to comfort herself. She couldn't be an old woman who couldn't get married for the rest of her life, right? Wouldn't he be laughed to death by others? Haha, Zhao Ping, you're really interesting. Golden Flower can get married, but why don't you see what kind of man she married? If you marry that kind of man, you can do it too, but he's probably a fool, a cripple. And you can even receive a sum of money from him. Do you want me to ask my mother to introduce them to you? No. I don't want to marry a cripple. Then who do you want to marry? Like the crown prince? After being questioned by Zhao Xinhui, Zhao Ping fell silent. She really wanted to marry a man like the crown prince. Every woman wants to marry a rich and handsome man. Zhao Ping, stop dreaming. If the crown prince likes you, then I can only say that he is blind. All right, stop talking. Let's go. Oh. Zhao Ping replied weakly. She felt that she was beaten black and blue by Zhao Xinhui. She couldn't help but think of her face and think of ways to make her face more beautiful. Zhao Yun tidied up the things and finally tidied up properly. Yun girl. It was Aunt Lu's voice. After going through the treatment for the past few days, Uncle Lu's condition had almost recovered. He was recuperating at home for the past few days. Zhao Yun came out and saw Auntie Lu. Behind Auntie Lu was Xiao Mao. Zhao Yun was pleasantly surprised. Aunt Lu, didn't you say that Xiao Mao ran away by itself? Why? Chapter 400. Auntie Lu smiled and said, "That day, Xiao Mao did run away, but it wandered around and finally came to my door. Shanzi knew what happened to your family, so he tied Xiao Mao up in my cowshed. No one else knew. When I heard that you were back, I sent Xiao Mao over to you." After listening to Auntie Lu's explanation, Zhao Yun finally understood. Xiao Mao, this beast, was really smart. It didn't run anywhere else. It knew that Auntie Lu's place was safe, so it ran to Auntie Lu's place. "Auntie Lu, thank you. I thought our family's Xiao Mao was lost." Zhao Yun said gratefully. Such a smart little beast. Zhao Yun probably couldn't buy it no matter how much money she spent. "What are you thanking me for? It's your family's Xiao Mao that's smart." "Haha, I heard that Xiao Mao did something earth-shattering." Zhao Yun was curious about what earth-shattering thing Xiao Mao did. Seeing that Zhao Yun was curious, she guessed that she didn't know, so Auntie Lu told Zhao Yun. When Zhao Yun heard, she covered her mouth and couldn't help but laugh. Xiao Mao actually bullied Hua Chunhua. Zhao Yun stroked Xiao Mao's fur and praised Xiao Mao. "Xiao Mao, I didn't expect you to be so smart. You really did a good job. I'll cook some meat for you to eat later." In the face of Zhao Yun's praise, Xiao Mao proudly raised its head. Auntie Lu couldn't help but laugh. "Haha, your family's little donkey is really interesting. It's really different from ordinary beasts. Of course, the one I raised is definitely different." Zhao Yun was also rarely narcissistic. "Yun girl, and your family's Xiao He," Auntie Lu said as she handed the little puppy in her arms to Zhao Yun. "Ah, it's Xiao He," Zhao Yun said with some surprise. He was only thinking about Xiao Mao and had almost forgotten about Xiao He. Little He was still small, so Hua Chunhua didn't have any ideas about it. After all, such a small puppy couldn't make dog meat hot pot. Zhao Yun took little He from Auntie Lu's hands. "Auntie Lu is lucky that you are taking care of her. Otherwise, little He would definitely starve to death. Humans would definitely collapse from hunger if they did not eat for a few days, and dogs would naturally be the same." Aunt Lu smiled and said, "That's not true. If it wasn't in my house, Xiao He wouldn't have starved to death. In this day and age, other animals might starve to death, but not dogs. Dogs can eat human feces and pig feces. These things are everywhere in the village." When Auntie Lu said that, Zhao Yun felt disgusted. She stared at Little Black and pursed her lips. "Auntie Lu, my Little Black, hasn't eaten shit in the past few days, right?" Auntie Lu was stunned at first, then she smiled and said, No, of course not. Your family's Xiao He has food to eat. How can he go back and eat shit?" "But that big dog of mine doesn't give him milk to drink, so he's been eating thin porridge these past few days. Sometimes, there's some soup in the thin porridge. Luckily, Xiao He isn't picky." Zhao Yun then nodded in relief. "That's good." When she turned back, she still had to keep an eye on Xiao He. She mustn't let him learn from other dogs and eat shit. Although this was a dog's nature, Zhao Yun couldn't accept it. Otherwise, she would have to think carefully about hugging Xiao He when she turned back. Xiao He went into Zhao Yun's arms, and his eyes instantly lit up. "Woof woof woof," he barked at Zhao Yun twice, his little tail wagging around, looking very cute. Chapter 401. Yes, I didn't dote on it for nothing." Zhao Yun patted Blackie's little head as she spoke. It was so furry, so comfortable to hold in her hands. As for Xiao Mao, Zhao Yun brought it back to the wooden shed. "Aunt Lu, how's Uncle Lu's illness?" Zhao Yun asked with concern. "He's much better now. The doctor gave him a few doses of medicine. He should be fine after taking them. Yun, girl, I still have to thank you for this matter. If you didn't sell the bullfrogs, we wouldn't have the money to treat him. Speaking of selling the bullfrogs, Zhao Yun felt a little sorry for Aunt Lu. She didn't know how to say it. But she couldn't not say it. After hesitating for a while, Zhao Yun said to Aunt Lu, Aunt Lu, Brother Shanzi doesn't have to buy bullfrogs anymore. I won't do the restaurant business anymore. Aunt Lu also knew that Zhao Yun's accident this time had something to do with the restaurant. Zhao Yun must have her reasons for not doing it. So she nodded and said, Yun it's okay. The money we earned before is almost enough to treat your Uncle Lu's illness. That's good. Yun don't worry. Just take care of yourself. Our family can handle it. Yes. Then Yun I'll leave first. If there's anything, just call me. Okay, Aunt Lu. Take care. Okay. After Aunt Lu left, Zhao Yun handed Xueqi to Daodu. After not seeing Xueqi for a few days, Daodu missed him very much. He held him in his hands and stroked him non-stop. Xueqi also licked Daodu's little hands. When Xiao Mao saw the interaction between Xueqi and Daodu, it couldn't help but feel jealous. It kept barking at Xueqi and Daodu. Zhao Yun caught a glimpse of Xiao Mao's movements and patted Daodu's head. Daodu, Xiao Mao is jealous. Don't always play with Xueqi. Bring Xiao Mao along too. Daodu came back to his senses and nodded. Okay, mother, I'll go now. After Daodu ran away, only Zhao Yun and Mu Lianfeng were left. Zhao Yun smiled and said, I'm going to make lunch. Mu Lianfeng, are you hungry? Mu Lianfeng shook his head. I'm fine. I'm not that hungry. You still have to do it. It's already past mealtime. I'll help you. All right. The two of them entered the kitchen together and worked together. One of them was cooking at the stove, while the other was tending to the fire below. Not long after, white smoke rose from the stove and the kitchen was filled with smoke. When they returned from the heir presumptive's residence, they had prepared some food. There were cured meat, salted fish, and some sweets and pastries. Zhao Yun made do with some stir-fried cured meat for lunch and pulled out a handful of leftover cabbage from the vegetable garden. Then, she steamed a pot of fragrant rice. It was steaming hot and fragrant. Zhao Yun was preparing to cook when she turned around and bumped into Mu Lianfeng. When did he run behind her? Yun, are you okay? Mu Lianfeng asked nervously. Zhao Yun shook her head. I'm fine. Fortunately, she didn't bump into him too hard. However, Mu Lianfeng's chest was too hard. She was afraid that she might have hurt his wound. Seeing that Mu Lianfeng didn't react, she assumed that he was fine. Yun. Mu Lianfeng suddenly pulled Zhao Yun into his arms. In the low-ceilinged kitchen, Zhao Yun felt that the space had become smaller. Her nose was filled with Mu Lianfeng's scent. Chapter 402. Mu Lianfeng. What are you doing? Zhao Yun asked softly. Nothing, Yun. I just want to hug you. I'm leaving in the afternoon, so I might be separated from you for a while. I'll miss you. Will you miss me? Zhao Yun didn't know how to answer Mu Lianfeng's question. Would she miss him? It might be. However, other than her father, she had never thought of any other man in her life. I don't know. Zhao Yun answered honestly. Yun you won't miss me? Mu Lianfeng was a little disappointed. You haven't left yet. How would I know if I'll miss you? But no matter if I miss you or not, you should come back soon. Zhao Yun mumbled. Don't worry. I'll come back as soon as possible. When I come back, we'll be together. Okay. Zhao Yun answered softly. Just as the two of them were hugging, Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Pinger's voices suddenly came from outside the door. When Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping saw Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yun hugging each other, they bit their chins hard. Zhao Xinhui rushed in and started scolding Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun, it's broad daylight. You're seducing a man and hugging a man. Aren't you too shameless? The originally good atmosphere was ruined by Zhao Xinhui. Mu Lianfeng frowned in disgust. Zhao Yun'er was naturally embarrassed to be seen by others. She quickly separated from Mu Lianfeng. She cleared her throat and replied unhappily, "What does it have to do with you?" "Well, Zhao Yun'er, you're still so arrogant after doing such a shameless thing. Don't you have any shame? I've never seen a woman like you." Zhao Xinhui started to clamor again. Zhao Yun'er looked at Zhao Xinhui's reaction. She was obviously mad with jealousy when she saw her with Mu Lianfeng. Now, she was deliberately condemning her. Damn it, did she really think she was easy to bully? Zhao Yun'er stared at Zhao Ping'er and chuckled. "I'm shameless? I think you're the shameless one, aren't you? You can't wait to stick to a man whenever you see him. I don't see you being so attentive. Now you're asking me to help you? Aren't you just trying to get close to His Highness?" After being exposed by Zhao Yun'er, Zhao Xinhui felt guilty and blushed. However, she still replied unwillingly, "What's wrong with me helping His Highness? How could a person like her help you with your work?" "Zhao Yun'er, what kind of charm did you use to seduce you? Let me tell you, you should know your place. You've already given birth to a child. You're no longer a virgin. Don't do anything that will embarrass our old Zhao family." Zhao Yun'er's smile became colder. It was really interesting. "Zhao Xinhui, please get this straight. You're the one who seduced him. You're the one who acted indecently, yet you're talking about others. Where's your shame?" Zhao Yun'er retorted. "Saying that I'm no longer a virgin is better than saying that you're staying at home and can't get married. If you want to talk about knowing your place, you have the nerve to say it to others. Why don't you say it to yourself? Do you think you're good enough for you?" Zhao Xinhui was driven mad by Zhao Yun'er's words. Zhao Yun'er, this be *tch. She had to kill her. Hence, she threw down the bucket in her hand and rushed towards Zhao Yun'er. Chapter 403. Seeing Zhao Xinhui rushing over, Mu Lianfeng was originally going to help Zhao Yun'er, but Zhao Yun'er pushed him away. She did not want to hide behind Mu Lianfeng and become a little woman protected by a man. Moreover, she could deal with such a small matter. Dealing with Zhao Xinhui was not a problem at all. When Zhao Xinhui rushed in front of Zhao Yun'er calmly moved aside. Zhao Xinhui immediately bumped into Zhao Yun'er's kitchen stove. Her stomach was hit hard, and it was extremely painful. Zhao Xinhui gritted her teeth and fell to the ground, crying out in pain. "Ouch, it hurts so much. I can't take it anymore." Zhao Ping'er watched from the side. She had no intention of helping Zhao Xinhui. Instead, she covered her mouth and snuck a peek. Her aunt had scolded her and said that she was ugly just now. Great. Now she had also learned her lesson. The more Zhao Xinhui screamed, the happier Zhao Ping'er felt. Zhao Yun'er looked at Zhao Xinhui, who was squatting on the ground. She did not have any intention of softening her heart. Instead, she directly lifted Zhao Xinhui up and threw her out of the kitchen. After Zhao Xinhui tossed and turned like this, the bones in her body were all shattered. "Zhao Ping'er, are you dead? You didn't even help me up when you saw me on the ground." Zhao Xinhui kicked Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Ping'er reluctantly walked to Zhao Xinhui's side and pulled Zhao Xinhui up from the ground. "Aunt. Wretched girl, I'll deal with you later." "No, Aunt, you can't beat Zhao Yun'er. Let's just forget about it, okay?" Zhao Xinhui was not willing to let it go. She turned to Mu Lianfeng with an aggrieved expression and acted coquettishly to Mu Lianfeng. "Lord Heir, look at Zhao Yun'er. She's too much. You have to seek justice for me." Men would always feel sorry for beautiful women. Zhao Xinhui pretended to be pitiful again. Even if Mu Lianfeng would not really help her, at least seeing her being bullied so miserably, he would at least know how vicious Zhao Yun'er was, right? Men also hated vicious women, and the crown prince should be the same. But after Zhao Xinhui's tearful complaints, Mu Lianfeng smiled faintly and said, "Why do I feel that this is all your fault?" "Lord Heir, how could it be my fault? It was clearly Zhao Yun'er, that slut, who seduced you. You have to keep your eyes open and not be fooled by her. You don't know, but her reputation has long been ruined. Not only did she get pregnant before marriage and seduce a wild man, but there were also rumors about her relationship with other men in the village. She didn't pick up anything at all. Otherwise, our Zhao family wouldn't have chased her out. She saw that your status is not ordinary, so she pretended in front of you to attract your attention. She wants to rise to the top in the future. Zhao Yuner listened to Zhao Xinhui's scolding and really turned her into an extremely disgusting and evil woman. Just as Zhao Xinhui was getting excited, Zhao Yuner came over and directly slapped Zhao Xinhui's mouth. Zhao Xinhui, you should keep these words to yourself. Don't falsely accuse me of seducing men. Lord Heir is my man. Do I need to seduce him? You're the slut. You're also thinking about my man. Let me ask you, are you worthy? Speaking of being disgraceful, I don't think anyone in old Zhao's family is more disgraceful than you. Zhao Yuner's slap caused Zhao Xinhui's mouth to swell. She wanted to continue to quarrel with Zhao Yuner, but she couldn't speak. She could only cry. Chapter 404. Haha, this feels so good. As the saying goes, B*cheese will be punished by the heavens. Zhao Yun, had already helped her deal with a B*tch like her younger aunt. She didn't even need to do anything. That B*tch couldn't say anything now. Let's see what she can say about her now. Faced with Zhao Yuner's valiant appearance, Mu Lianfeng wasn't afraid at all. Instead, the smile on his face deepened. He looked at Zhao Yuner with a fascinated and bright light in his eyes. Zhao Yun, actually said that he was her man. This feeling of being acknowledged felt so good. Zhao Yun, you. What nonsense are you talking about? How can the heir be your man? Zhao Xinhui endured the pain and mumbled vaguely. After saying that, she covered her mouth and cried bitterly. She was in so much pain. What should she do now? She had to rest for a few days before she could speak again, right? Why not? The heir will marry me in a while, so he's my man. Zhao Xinhui, I'm warning you. If you want to flirt with a man, you'd better flirt with someone else. No one will stop you if you're a B*tch. But if you mess with my man, don't blame me for being rude. Zhao Yuner's frightening gaze gave Zhao Xinhui a fright. She knew the severity of Zhao Yuner's actions, but if she didn't get close to Mu Lianfeng, how could she get close to Mu Lianfeng? You're still looking? If you take another look, do you believe that I won't gouge your eyeballs out? Zhao Yuner threatened. Zhao Xinhui reluctantly retracted her gaze from Mu Lianfeng's body. Younger aunt, let's hurry and leave. Otherwise, Zhao Yuner will really make a move. Look at how badly you were beaten up just now. If you had listened to me, things wouldn't have turned out like this. You'd better leave now. Zhao Yuner has gone crazy. She might really dig out your eyeballs. Zhao Ping held Zhao Xinhui's hand as she whispered into Zhao Xinhui's ear. Zhao Ping didn't really care about Zhao Xinhui. She was just afraid that if Zhao Xinhui got into a conflict with Zhao Yuner and got her involved, wouldn't she suffer for nothing if she was hurt by Zhao Yuner? After being persuaded by Zhao Ping, Zhao Xinhui was indeed a little scared. She stomped her feet, glared at Zhao Yuner, and left. Zhao Yuner clapped her hands. She was in a good mood. How could she not be happy after chasing away the weirdo? When she turned around, she saw Mu Lianfeng behind her. Mu Lianfeng looked at her with a burning gaze. Zhao Yuner felt a little uncomfortable being stared at by Mu Lianfeng. Why didn't he scare her when she was fierce just now? Why are you looking at me? Zhao Yuner asked in a low voice. The aura that had erupted just now suddenly disappeared, and she returned to her feminine appearance. It was as if she had suddenly become a different person. Perhaps a woman couldn't be strong in front of the man she liked. I'm thinking about what you said just now. Mu Lianfeng had a faint smile on his face. What did I say? You said that I'm your man. I said it on purpose for Zhao Xinhui to hear, so that she wouldn't miss you and walk around in front of you. How annoying would you be? Don't you think so? I'm helping you. You have to thank me. Zhao Yuner faced Mu Lianfeng's burning gaze and explained nervously. Chapter 405. In the face of Mu Lianfeng's direct confession, Zhao Yuner didn't know how to respond for a while. Then it's a deal. If you become my man, you can't fool around with other women. I'm a jealous woman. If I find out that you're entangled with other women, they'll end up like Zhao Xinhui. Of course, You won't have a good time either. Yes, my wife. Mu Lianfeng was even happier in his heart. He couldn't control himself and leaned towards Zhao Yuner again, hugging Zhao Yuner from behind. It was really not good to be seen in broad daylight. Zhao Yuner hurriedly struggled and broke away from Mu Lianfeng's arms. I'm going to cook. Seeing Zhao Yuner blushing, Mu Lianfeng followed her into the kitchen. After the two of them went in, Lu Lei saw the sweet interaction between Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng not far away. Originally, he heard that Zhao Yuner was back, so he came to have a look. During the days when Zhao Yuner was in trouble, he had been worried about her, but he couldn't find a solution. He was just an ordinary person. How could he have any relationship with the government? Other than praying for Zhao Yuner every day, he couldn't do any other substantial help. Hearing that Zhao Yuner was back safely, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. When he came over, he thought that Zhao Yuner just came back and there shouldn't be anything delicious at home. After such a torment during these days, she must have lost weight. He just came back from hunting, so he brought a wild rabbit with him to nourish Zhao Yuner's body. However, he didn't expect that when he came over, he would see Zhao Yuner flirting with another man. Why did it turn out like this? Lu Lei's heart was indescribably disappointed. The rabbit in his hand also became a lot heavier. A bitter smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. He shouldn't have thought about it in the first place. Mu Lianfeng was the heir apparent, and his status was much nobler than his. This time, Zhao Yuner was able to return safely, and it was all thanks to Mu Lianfeng. Thinking about him again, what could he do for Zhao Yuner? It seemed that there was nothing he could do. Such a sense of defeat made Lu Lei feel even more uncomfortable. Lu Lei let out a sigh. Forget it. If Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng got together, he should give them his blessings. After all, he should be happy that Zhao Yuner found a good family. Lu Lei carried the hair and turned around to leave Zhao Yuner's house. Brother Lu. Xiao Hong's voice suddenly came from behind him. Lu Lei turned around and replied indifferently, You're here too? Yeah, I saw you at Sister Yuner's place just now. Brother Lu, why don't you go in? Lu Lei didn't know how to explain. I was just passing by. Lu Lei twitched the corner of his mouth and said. Xiao Hong's eyes had a touch of complexity. Brother Lu, there's something I don't know if I should say. What is it? Chapter 406. To put it bluntly, the purpose of Xiao Hong's words was to make Lu Lei give up. On the other hand, she was accusing Zhao Yuner of being a woman who coveted wealth. How could he marry such a woman? She was only interested in money. After Xiao Hong finished speaking, Lu Lei felt very uncomfortable and defended Zhao Yuner. Yuner is not that kind of woman. Brother Lu, I know you don't want to believe it, but this is the truth. Speaking of which, you're not bad. You're so nice to Sister Yuner. You're just a little less rich than the heir. Xiao Hong, that's enough, Lu Lei said coldly and left in a huff. Looking at Lu Lei's back, Xiao Hong's lips curled up into a smile. It didn't matter whether Lu Lei believed her or not. Anyway, he must have felt uncomfortable in his heart. Lu Lei could only be hers. As for Zhao Yuner, she didn't believe that Zhao Yuner could really be with Mu Lianfeng. After all, with Zhao Yuner's status, Mu Lianfeng wouldn't take a liking to her at all. She remembered that there was a man in Zhao Yuner's house. That man was Mu Lianfeng. As for why he was in Zhao Yuner's house, it should be because Zhao Yuner saved him by chance. Mu Lianfeng was now helping Zhao Yuner to express his gratitude. Zhao Yuner busied herself for a while and finished cooking. She called Mu Lianfeng and Daodu to eat together. The fried bacon tasted very good and was very fragrant. The bacon in the heir's mansion was indeed much better than the bacon she made herself. The three of them sat together and ate together. The atmosphere was very harmonious. After the family finished eating happily, Mu Lianfeng said goodbye reluctantly. He looked at Zhao Yuner and then looked at Daodu. If possible, he really wanted to stay by their side forever. Yuner, I have to go back, Mu Lianfeng said. Zhao Yuner also felt a little reluctant to leave at this moment. Mu Lianfeng had lived in her house for a long time. She was used to him being here, but now he was leaving. Yuner, this is 100 taels of silver. Take it. You don't have to work hard to earn money. When I come back, I'll take you and Daodu to live a good life. Looking at the money in Mu Lianfeng's hand, Zhao Yun didn't want to take it. They weren't even married yet. What did she mean by accepting this money? Mu Lianfeng and... If old Madame Mu knew about this, she would probably look down on her again. Moreover, even if she took Mu Lianfeng's money, she would still earn money. In case she encountered any obstacles when she was together with Mu Lianfeng in the future, Mu Lianfeng would move in with her. The two of them would at least have a source of income. It was always better to plan ahead and make more arrangements in advance. If the business was successful, she wouldn't have to worry about money in the future. She was a woman in the 21st century and had some thoughts of a woman in the 21st century. A woman should have her own career and ability. She shouldn't rely on a man to support her. Her future was in the hands of the man. If she started to spend Mu Lianfeng's money now, she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to get rid of Mu Lianfeng one day. In addition, she had promised to do business with Mu Lan before. She couldn't go back on her words. Mu Lan's family didn't have it easy now. She had to make a fortune with them. Chapter 407. But Yuner. No buts. If you force it on me, I'll be angry. I will be angry. Zhao Yun insisted. Mu Lianfeng knew Zhao Yuner's character. Zhao Yuner was different from other women. She was more independent and self-reliant. He didn't want to force Zhao Yuner, so he took back his money bag. Yuner, don't work too hard. Otherwise, I'll feel bad for you. The corner of Zhao Yuner's mouth raised into a smile. Don't worry, how tired can it be? I can't just lie at home and do nothing all the time, right? I'll be useless if I do that. Mu Lianfeng was still worried, but he couldn't do anything about Zhao Yuner. Before he left, he said to Daodu, Daodu, Daddy is leaving. You have to protect your mother during this time, okay? You're a man now. Daodu nodded heavily. I know, Daddy. Mu Lianfeng patted Daodu's head, then got into the carriage and left reluctantly. Dodo leaned against the door and watched as Mu Lianfeng's carriage went further and further away. Her face was filled with reluctance. Okay, Daodu, Daddy's gone. Don't look. You can go play with Uncle. Okay. In the afternoon, Zhao Yuner continued to tidy up the house and tidied up the vegetable garden. He took some twigs from the fence and sprinkled some vegetable seeds along the way. When she was almost done, Zhao Yun picked some things at home and prepared to give them to her parents. Since they had separated from the family, she could openly take some things over. Old Zhao's family wouldn't know anyway. She took a little of each of the things she brought back from the Shizi's mansion. She carried the basket and walked in the direction of old Zhao's house. When Zhao Yuner arrived at old Zhao's house, Hua Chunhua and Zhao Xinhui were sitting in the yard. Hua Chunhua was holding an egg in her hand and was putting it on Zhao Xinhui's mouth. After all, her slap wasn't light. Zhao Xinhui's mouth was swollen badly. Mother, you. Be gentle. It hurts. Zhao Xinhui pouted and let out a muffled groan. Okay. Mother, be gentle. That wretched girl, she hit you so hard. Woo woo woo. Zhao Xinhui also glared at him fiercely. Her eyes were filled with resentment as she whimpered in agreement. All right. Hui, don't talk if your mouth hurts. Hua Chunhua comforted her. Seeing her daughter being beaten so badly, she couldn't help but feel distressed, but she didn't dare to provoke Zhao Yun. She could only suffer in silence. That wretched girl is getting more and more outrageous. Hua Chunhua snorted and looked at Zhao Baoshan. You're Hui's father. Don't you know how to do something when you see your daughter being bullied like this? What can I do? Yuner is like this now. Who dares to provoke her? Next time, I'll let you eat feces. Hua Chunhua was really scared when she heard that. But we can't let Hui suffer for nothing. Hua Chunhua muttered. What else can we do? Isn't it Hui, who provoked her? Otherwise, why would she hit her? Zhao Baoshan replied unhappily. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.